Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live masterclass here. Well, you see, I have my CloneVoiceAI hat. So we're giving away a lot of these swag and stuff like that as well to a lot of our community members. So that's exciting. I have Yash here as well with me. So today is all about discussions with ecosystem. Okay, we've been talking about that a lot. So today is phase number one. So today we're going to be talking about specifically how you can turn your voice, okay, into visual story videos and narrations specifically to upload to YouTube, other social media platforms to grow your brand, your business, generate more traffic, leads, and sales. Specifically, today, phase one will be about Artistly, our application, which most of you, if not all of you, own. If not, you can grab it. I'll tell you how. And then CloneVoice.ai. You see this hat right here? That is the integration. So most of you already have these two applications. If not, I will tell you how to get it. But this will be phase number one. Then we'll go into Video Express, Talking Photos, some of our other applications, and bring them all together. So firstly, I have Yash in here as well. So Yash, let's go right into the game here. How do we basically create these videos within Artistly? How do we go into CloneVoice.ai, enable this? And also specifically, how can I do it quickly? And of course, we're going to answer all your questions as well as we go along today, okay? So without any further delay, let's get started here. Yash, you're muted here. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yep. I hope everyone can hear me properly. Yeah. So as Paul mentioned, I will be showing you step by step, yeah, with full layout, full plan, how you can take your ideas or your story and convert it into a MP4 video that you can publish on YouTube with your voice or any voice you imagine without recording a word, as we promised, right? So I'm super excited for this. What I'm gonna do, without wasting a single second, I'll get straight to my screen. I'll show you step-by-step process, and then any questions you're gonna have, let us know in the comment section. We will, until every question is answered, we aren't going anywhere. All right, so we're here to answer your questions. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and let's see. All right, I hope you can see my screen. I'm super excited to show you how this integration will work and how you can get it for your account. All right, so in order to use the Artistly and Clone Voice integration, you need to follow this process step by step in order to get the bonuses that we discussed. All right, so the main thing I want to tell you is you have to come to this avatar icon, and under there you'll see settings. Okay, now when you come to the profile settings option, scroll down, you will see an option called API key. Okay, now because you're just starting, you have to create a new API key, right? Now once the API key is provided, what you have to do is go to Artistly dashboard, right? Now same thing under the profile, right? Where will you find the profile? Same thing, just go here, Artistly, click on your avatar, and then you will find the settings, profile, and you'll come here, right? Now here, what you gotta do, you gotta basically copy the key from here and paste it here. Save the clone voice API key, just like this, okay? So it's gonna successfully save your key. Now what's gonna happen is all the voices that you clone, that you create, that you design will be seamlessly integrated with Artistly, so that when you create storybooks or when you want to use videos, when you want to create storybooks with your voice, they will appear here. What you gotta do, one additional things what we did to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed with thousands of voices in the Artistly dashboard, is all the voices that you want to basically share, right? Let's say for example, I created this little girl, for example, right? Or I created this test, or Paul's voice, or Yash voice, or whatever voices that we are seeing here, right? If you want to create or share basically these voices, what you need to do is click on export voices, okay? Click on each of these voices, little girl, Yash, or whatever voices, how many voices you want to share. And then what you have to do is you have to click on export selected, okay, and click on yes, proceed. What is going to happen, okay, very easy peasy process, okay. Under the my voices tab, you will see something called exported voices, and here all the voices that you picked to export will appear, and these are the only voices that will appear whether in Artistly and even in Video Express, if we say so, right. It's a very important API integration, right. So I want to repeat that again. Not all the voices that you clone or you create or you design will be there. Only the ones that will be there are the ones basically that you hit export. You don't have to manually download them, you don't have to do all that kind of stuff. All you gotta do is click on three dots, my voices, export voices, and pick your clone voices, your designed voices, your all kinds of voices, your public library voices. And then, so let's say I want Paul, I want little girl, I want Yash, these three voices. I click on export and done. Export and done. Selected voices are already in exported voices, so that when we go to Artistly dashboard, okay, when we go to Artistly dashboard, these are the only voices that will appear in their respective category. I hope that makes sense. I hope that is pretty clear, okay. Now here comes the fun part, okay. Now let me also create a music and show you how you can create the music storyboard, okay. And then we will completely go to the Artistly dashboard and I'll show you how the flipbook process comes, how will you get to your voices, where will you see all these voices and all that fun part, okay. So again, I'm gonna go to the create music. I will pick the kids rhyme category. I will say a rhyme about baker girl and a cat, for example. I will read and accepted all the terms and condition. This will pick the line for me. I will just, name this baker girl and cat, whatever it is. I will select it and then I will click on generate music, right? Now I've already created it for the time being, so I'll show you a farmer and a little girl and baker girl and a cat, and you can create rhymes of anything, right? Now let's come to the Artistly part and let me show you how you can get these three things. Number one, how will you get your voices from Clone Voice to appear in Artistly? Okay, where will they appear? How can you use them to narrate your storybooks as a flipbook format? How you can share it, number one. Number two, then I'm going to show you how you can convert them into a video. That's one of the, if you have a successful Clone Voice key, that option will appear now. And number three, I will show you how will you take that rhymes, okay, and then actually kind of use it, right? Kind of use it to create a step-by-step, scene-by-scene visual storyboard, okay. So as usual, you will go to personalized personal designs and you'll go to Storybook Studio, okay. I'm gonna refresh my screen, and then in the Storybook Studio you will see all your storybook created, okay. Now when you click on create flipbook, select story, create the flipbook. Under the select voices, you will now see an option of clone, design, and public library, okay. Now this is the fun part, because if you remember, I've shared the Paul's voice here, Yash's voice here, a test voice or whatever it is appearing here. Even the voice that I've created, like a little girl, angry grandma, and stuff like that, also now appears there. So you're not just limited to all these default options. You can now narrate your storybook, a personalized storybook, with the cloned part. Okay, so now let me remind that. So if someone asks you that, hey, I want to create a personalized storybook for my child with my voice where I am narrating the storybook, what would you do? You go to Clone Voice, go to Clone Voice application, come on this Clone Voice section, click on choose instant. upload their voice file, put their name, put the language it is in, pick the gender, clone the voice, then go to My Voices, click on Export Voices, pick that voice that you uploaded and click on Export. We did it because to avoid all the confusion, because down the line you might have thousands of voices in your voice library, in your voices tab, but you don't want to share all of them, right? To keep things simpler, you only want to share the best, you only want to deal with the best. So to avoid that overwhelming, to avoid that option of so many voices, we kind of did that approach, right? So now once you have successfully exported, what will happen is they will come under clone part. You can pick it. Let's say for example I want to pick this little girl, and then you will continue with your process of uploading a front cover, uploading a template. Let's say I'm gonna upload a template which I had already created, right? Because it's a Halloween special book I'm creating, and you click generate flipbook. You know how it will appear? Hear this out. I'll show you. Pretty cool.
On a crisp October night, 12-year-old Ethan and 10-year-old Lily were ready for Halloween. They loved their costumes, but they were most excited about the old Holloway house. Everyone whispered about the Holloway house. Its boarded-up windows and sagging porch made it both frightening and alluring.
Very, very powerful, right? So now you have the ability to convert your images, or can basically, into storybooks. Not just that, but now you have the ability to narrate your storybooks with any voice you want. Your voice, client's voice, a user voice, a parent's voice, obviously subject to their approval, and then any design voice. Now comes the fun part. You can not just create these, right? So let's say I'm gonna, for example, okay, I deleted by mistake. Oh, sorry. Anyways, so not just you can, because these things, right, you can share them, right? You can share it with the public. Down the line, what we are also thinking, we will give you an ability to embed these on your websites. How powerful would that be, right? Now let's talk about the second thing. The second thing, which is very, very powerful. All your flipbooks will have an option called convert to video, subject to if you got clone voice, and if you have added the clone voice API key successfully. Now you know what's gonna happen. You are going to get this functionality which will turn your storybook into a video format, into MP4 format that you can publish on YouTube, with your voice, because it is gonna take the voiceover narration that you have selected, and it will take all your pages, all your designs, all your story text, and create a proper video. So you don't have to record it manually, you don't have to do all those integrations part. And let me actually show you how that will appear. It will appear something like this. This was just a bare minimum, like quickly I created just to show you, but this is a 3-minute, right? Almost like a 4-minute long videos. Quickly you can create those talking books, right? And there's a huge market for it, right? Think about all this new ideas, new possibilities. You can do it for like any specific thing that is viral or seasonal or festival, holiday based. And then any story that you can now think of, you can not just create a paperback book. And another thing, right, you might want to actually promote your paperback book using that you uploaded on KDP. You can use these as a marketing videos where you can say that this is just a part of the book, this is a glimpse of the book, this is a trailer of the book, and the entire book is ready for you to purchase. You can actually market the series, right? Like you can say, hey, this is the chapter 1, I'm giving it to you, but for more chapters you can purchase these series, and you can link to your KDP book, KDP link, right? So many opportunities that it unlocks. And you can I don't even need to explain the importance, how much powerful this is. You probably started thinking and started seeing yourself using this, right? So let me know in the comment sections if that is true, right? So let me know what you think about this. Now here comes the third part, okay, which is now we got this farmer and a little girl, let's say example, right? A baker girl or whatever it is, right? How will you basically take a MP3 rhyme, okay, a kid's rhyme, and create a step by step, scene by scene, consistent character visual storyboard that you can bring it to Video Express or whatever it is, or just let alone in Artistly you can create a song flipbook or a song video, right? Because the main thing is yeah, you got this MP3 audio, the kid's rhyme, but you want to convert it into a video, right? You wanted to publish it on YouTube. It's the best way. It's nothing like this in the market right now, right? So you come to design agents, and again, how will it appear? It will not appear for all the people. It will only appear for the people who has Clone Voice and who successfully added the Clone Voice a valid successful implementation or addition of a Clone Voice API key. Very, very important. Otherwise it won't work, or otherwise it won't show. Just wanted to let you know, right? So that's the one thing. So now what you have to do, let me just show you, is basically come to nursery rhymes option. Okay, now I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna come here, drop it in. So just drop that kid's rhyme that you got from Clone Voice, right? How will you create it? Easy peasy. You go to create music, kids rhyme, AI generated, say a rhyme about whatever it is, just like I say, a rhyme about my son Charlie and his friend Jason. I mean anything, right? I mean you can think of anything, right? And you can have like very, very powerful, right? So all right, two good friends, pretty powerful, right? And then you can give it a name and download it. Now let's say it is uploaded. Now what you can do, you have to select the dimension that you want your storyboard, right? Storyboard to be in. 16:9, 3:2, 4:5, whatever it is, right? So let's say it is 16:9 because I want to do, let's say, I want it on YouTube and stuff like that, and hit generate images. You know what's gonna happen? Something like this is gonna happen. Let me show you. Yeah, let me just get rid of this. I'll show you. Very, very powerful, right? So just like these, look at this, just like this. So I created using kids lyrics, right? Just like it's a baker girl and a cat, right? Look at that, how powerful it is, right? Scene by scene, like these are like crazy, right? Like think about this, 30 scenes, right? 30 scenes, entire kids rhyme with character consistency, scene by scene, integrated, developed for you, so you don't have to do it manually. Think about the prompt, just one click, easy peasy. Okay, and now you can convert these with music, you can export it, convert it to a video and stuff like that. I mean, that is the power. How powerful that is, let me know in the comment section, guys, right? So these are the two things, okay? These are the three things. Sorry, I said wrong. Three things, very, very important. I showed you today how you can actually grab the API key from Clone Voice, add it in Artistly. 2, transfer all your favorite voices to Artistly to be able to use them to create a read aloud narration for your storybooks. First part. Second part I discussed with you is how you can convert any of your flipbook into a video in an end-to-end MP4 format so that you can publish it on YouTube. Third thing, with not just storybooks, you can also create a visual storyboard of jingles and kids rhymes that you created using Clone Voice. Come here, create a visual scene by scene, step by step, scene by scene, visuals that you can use for videos. How powerful is that? Let me know in the comment sections, how are you going to use this? Which one of these things you like the most? And now comes the fun part. I'm going to get to your questions. I'll answer all your questions. I know sometimes I as to make these things to make these things without any without any breaks, I just kind of go with the flow. Now it's the time to come to your questions, and I will answer all your questions now one by one, right? So now let me stop sharing my screen and let's see your questions. Oops, sorry. All right, so that was pretty powerful, right? So now let's see all the questions. By the way, one while I was showing, right, is one question that I noticed is, okay, I don't see this API page. I don't see the Artistly API thing. I don't see the Clone Voice API, right? So don't you worry about that. Just refresh your page as we are doing the live webinar. We rolled it out to everyone. Sometime it takes a little bit time and stuff like this, so just refresh it, or probably by this end of this training you'll have it, right? So that's one thing. Paul, did you notice anything? Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm
while
muted there. Just one sec. I'll just share where it appears because some people want to ask that. You can also share your screen, Yash. Just a
yeah,
sec. The idea is that where is it available? So a couple of things. I'll share my screen here if I can. That is, just give me a sec. Yeah. All right. So basically, if you go into your Artistly account, right, first of all, because this integration is Artistly and CloneVoiceAI, right? So basically, that you're going to go to your profile. Okay. So when you go to your dashboard, right? So let's say this is your Artistly dashboard. Let's say, for example, you'll see your name, right, to the top right. So in this case, my name is here. See this? So that is where you're going to see the details where to go. Now, in case of here, what we're actually doing is you're getting your CloneVoice.ai integration into Artistly. So there, for that, you got to go into your CloneVoice.ai account. You got to log into that one. And again, it'll be in the profile section where you can actually see the key and then insert it. So yes, again, you can go with that. Some people came in late, so they missed that part on that. So you want to share your screen and show how that part will come. They will come and bring it all together. So basically.
yep. Well, 1 second. Let me just share my screen once again. And any questions you have, guys, yeah, just let me know. Let us know in the comment sections, so that while everyone is sharing, we will get what if you want to do the clone voice to video for training. All right, we're gonna cover that. Don't you worry about that. So what the thing is, right, is if you can you see my screen, by the way? Let me share my screen. All right, so it should be easy. All right, my screen should be visible now. All right, my screen is visible.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So what you have to do, guys, is your profile option, settings, and under settings, you will get a API key, right? You can regenerate the API key if you have, but because I've already created it, you will see a button there called generate your key. And when
No.
you
One sec. So it's under your profile, right? So show us where the profile, the top right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
first, click on your avatar, click on settings, then this page will appear.
Right.
So that's the step. That's the step, right? And then you take this API key, go to Artistly, and then paste it there. Simple. So that is the two-step process, right?
Right.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
now let's say, for example, the other question that came in was if you already created a storybook, okay, meaning yesterday, day before, a month ago, whatever, can they still use this?
if they are already created a
If they,
storybook,
if they already created a storybook or
yeah,
flipbook,
okay,
can they still convert it into a video as of
yeah,
today, or it has to be from new ones they generate from, let's say, today onwards, meaning
new
existing
one,
flipbooks?
new ones always. But if you have a flip book that has an audio, then only it will appear. Because how it's gonna create it into a video if your flip book does not have the audio.
So just to be clear, this is the option, right? If it already has
This
audio.
is yeah, yeah.
So
This is
this is what's going to get enabled, folks. Okay. So it was
okay.
not there before. So for your existing ones where there's an audio already. Now, let's be clear. When you're doing clone voice integration, that means your voice, okay, voice and any clone voice or let's say library of voices or whatever will appear here. So obviously, if you want with your voice, you want to create a new project because these ones already have a narration with some system voices that were in there in Artistly, correct? So for example, you can still do it, but if you want it with your voice, it would have to be for new projects. Okay. Hope that is clear. Let me know in the chat box if that part is clear. Because that way, because there are new voices that didn't exist before, correct? Because Clone Voice just came in a few
Yeah.
days ago, right? That's
Yeah.
what the whole integration is about, effectively.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you want me to walk through the process again, it's very simple, right? You got that key, and then just go to the profile and paste it your key, right? So let me now, Bethany, right? So, okay, can I make a book with my own words, not written by AI, but have AI make the images and use my clone voice? Very good question. Paul, you can also show this. Just go to AI Storybook Studio in the Fast AI Image Designer. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Now go to Script to Storybook if you have a script already written. Now click on New Story. And now click on AI Character because you want AI to create your images and put in your story. Easy peasy. Right? Now that's the simple. Just put in your story. AI will create your images and it will not be written by AI. It will be your words, but AI will be creating the images for you. Dimensions, if you want to publish it on KDP, always pick 3:4 because we did a KDP direct integration. You can watch that training where we showed step by step how to do that. So 3:4 is the dimension that you can pick if you want. Another thing, Paul, I want to add them. I want to show that is if you click on book details, right? If you click on, you can also customize. We integrated a automated book cover creation. So if you put in your book author, because you obviously you want your pen name or book author, right? So you can you can put the book author and your cover title. So if you leave it, it will be AI generated. But if you don't, if you don't want to leave it as it is, you can put the title and the author, right? So that is this thing. Can we see a video that you did on the flipbook? Sure, I will play that again. Let me download that. I will play the video again. No, don't you worry about that. So okay, now let me see if any
See if any
questions.
questions. So let me kind of summarize this flow to you folks, okay? It's important you understand the concept behind it. It's okay, we show you the demo and all that, but what's the concept here, right? See, what we have to understand here, okay, what you could do in the past to what can you do now? Because now that you have CloneVoice.ai, correct? So in the past, what you could do is you can go and you can write your storybook, you can do idea to storybook, or you can do multi-character storybook, whatever the case was, where you can upload your characters and make a story, right? And then you merge it together and then you could do a flipbook for that, right? A flipbook would be a page turning setup, right? Like if you want to read it, like so, it will load it up like this, right? You can go flip it, right? With multiple pages, with the character consistency or whatever the case was. Now, this you could do always. You could even, for example, in the flipbook process, you could narrate it, okay? With using a consistent character, for example, which means like, for example, you wanted a person using the system voices that were available within Artistly, you could narrate it, meaning somebody's speaking, correct? So number one thing that people wanted, and they requested us all along, and we hear you, was that, hey, look, I can see this flipbook concept. Now, what if I want to turn it into a video? And secondly, look, I want to narrate it myself. So I want to pass it on for my grandkids, or I want to do it for my nephews, nieces, or even just want to create a video from it with my voice, okay? Or even a creative voice, meaning my choices. Like say, for example, a goblin is speaking, or maybe a teenage fairy is speaking, right? Stuff which is available within Clone Voice. So basically the question was, can I do it this one, or can I turn it into a video? Now, video wise, you can now upload it to YouTube or whatever, correct? And your voice wise, it gives you more personalization, correct? So now you can do both. That is the basic idea, okay?
That's it. Yep.
All right. So does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box so we are clear, because we're going to be answering as many questions as possible today about this, because the idea here is not so much where, okay, I want to do this. It sounds cool. It's more like, why are you doing it, right? What's the purpose? The idea here is that you don't want to create stuff that everybody is doing. You're going to have a personal touch. You can do that. So that means you can put it with your voice or the system voices or a personal public library of voices or whatever that can narrate things for you. And then the second thing is that, and Yash will show you an example right now of what we're trying to achieve here in 1 second. But this is what we're aiming for. Okay. So now let's show you what we created here with, again, voices, cloned voices or public library voices, meaning unique creative voices, not some, it's natural sounding, but very professionally, right? Which doesn't make sense for storybooks. You want, let's say, a kid's voice or teenager's voice, or maybe you want a grandma's voice, or maybe you want like a very unique voice. That's what we're showing you. So let's see here how that will work.
Night, 12-year-old Ethan and 10-year-old Lily were ready for Halloween. They loved their costumes, but they were most excited about the old Holloway house. Everyone whispered about the Holloway house. Its boarded-up windows and sagging porch made it both frightening and alluring.
So that's how it works. That's how it sounds like, right? Now you might have noticed something, which once the flipbook is generated, I noticed that a lot of times what happens, right, is you don't get the ability to edit the text. Now let me answer this, right? Even if you put your own words, sometimes AI has the tendency to put in weird words in between that, like as you can see, it converted that 2019 and stuff like that, right? So Paul will share his screen and I'll show you, right? And even I will show you, no worries. Is like, how do you edit those texts? Because you want your perfect text, right? We want the perfect text that you want, right? So what I'm gonna do is share my screen again. I'm gonna show you this. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen again. Okay, so we're just gonna add that. Okay, got it. 1 second. Okay, cool. So what will happen is, if you go to personal designs, in the personal design category, you will click on AI Storybook Studio, because that's where I created all my storybooks, right? And if you click on any eye, you will see which page it belongs to. And a very interesting thing we did, which is very powerful, right? And one of the very important question that I just saw in the comments, hey, can I bring my own images that I created outside of Artistly? 101%. How it will work, let me explain you, right? Two things I'm going to explain you. Paul will add that as a banner. Two things: how to customize your story text so that your clone voice will say that sometimes, right? And how to swap the story images, right? So what you have to do is edit the story text, right? When you click on any image, you will see what that page will have the narration of. So you want to focus on one word, you want to focus on one number, you want to focus on one pronunciation, you can do that. By the way, my electricity is gone now. Anyways, and the swap story image is basically when you click on swap story image, for that page you can swap any image that you externally created or whatever it is. We prefer you create from Artistly, because in Artistly we give you all the possibilities, right? And as you can see right now, you can choose from library, right? But the one thing that is very important is the aspect ratio needs to be same, right? So let's say if you created a 2:3 page or a 3:4, you can't upload a 4:5, right? I hope that is pretty clear. So so just to Adriana, right? So I mentioned this. Can I upload my storybook illustration? Yes, you can. So that's the thing I want to answer. All right, so let's see any other questions. Can you edit that text for more languages than English? Wonderful question. Let me show you how. Okay, so what's gonna happen is, let me share my screen once again. So okay, I'm going to share my screen right now. What's going to happen, guys, okay, is when you go to personal designs and when you click on AI Storybook Studio, or basically these are the tabs that basically these tabs represent the feature that you used to create storybook images, right? Because I created it using AI Storybook Studio, I'm clicking on it, right? If I would have used a personalized storybook books option, which is in design agent, I would have clicked on it, right? So just want to let you know. Now, when you click on this tab, you will see create flipbook option. The ability, in this one button gives you three things, right? Convert to video option. It will also give you, it will create a wonderful flipbook that you can share online. Now, what will happen is when you click on create flipbook, select the story, what it's going to do, it's going to automatically select all your pages of your storybook in a perfect chronological order. So you don't have to do it manually. Create the flipbook, and here comes the fun part is English, Chinese, Danish, Dutch, German, Indonesian, Italian, Canada, Persian. So we have all these languages available for you. So let's say I wanted to convert this into Hindi. I will just pick Hindi, pick my voice, so no voice because I didn't have any voice for Hindi. I have default voices that I can pick from, and just like that you can do it, right? So that's how you can convert it into like different languages, right? So I hope it answered your question, right? So now let me just see any questions. All right, so let me, okay,
No,
how
so
do you
I'll pass
contact?
on some questions to you. So yeah, that one was the first. There was one question that came in. It's like, hey, look, I don't have one of these applications, right? What do I do? So this was the question Derek was asking. So all you see those links in the bottom, CloneVoice.ai and Artistly.ai. That's all it is. So if you have Artistly, you don't have CloneVoice, go to CloneVoice.ai. If you have, let's say, for example, CloneVoice but don't have Artistly, get Artistly.ai. All right, it's pretty straightforward. So with these applications, basically are effectively going to be throughout. So for example, CloneVoice.ai, you just go to that page, you can go in there. Yeah, sure, saying something.
Yep, I want to say something very important, okay? Because the storybook functionality comes with a elite and unlimited full pay plan for Artistly, right? So you won't see the API section there if you are a commercial user. Very important, right?
Right, a
You
basic
will,
account, right? Basically,
yeah,
yeah. So that's the account is like under $50 or whatever you got. The reason is Storybooks is anyway not enabled for that account. It's only available for the all access Artistry account. So in other words, even if you had it, you'll not do anything with it because this feature
exactly.
works alongside the Flipbook, Storybooks functionality, which is in the all access account. So if you have that, whatever it was, $50, $49, whatever that version was of Artistly, just upgrade that. That will give you access to the AI storybooks. That gives you access to this API integration to be putting in because then you can use those features. And again, just for reference, I mean, realistically, it's worth doing that anyways. It's a one-time payment and 6 version updates were made regardless. So it's not like it costs much, right? What costs much is you end up getting, say, it's kind of frustrating even for me. You end up getting one of these application tools, right? From even the biggest of big companies, which have a lot of funding, like OpenAI or whatever. They're like, okay, you were at $20 a month account. We put some limits for you, rate limited you. We did this, that. Oh, by the way, there's a new account called $200 Pro account now, $200 a month. You gotta get that. And we didn't do any of that stuff. So we always kept it the same. And that actually helps you because now you can plan for the future accordingly, right? So now you're like, okay, I know for a fact that I have Clone Voice now, I have Artistly now, these two will merge together as a part of the ecosystem. And the other great part is with technology, okay, with software, I want to tell you, when you buy, say, a phone, right? Like you buy a phone or you buy like earpods or whatever, the next generation, right? When you do earpods V2 or iPhone number 17 or 16, your older phones become useless. In the case of Artistly and Clone Voice, they did better without you having to pay extra for the updates, correct? That's infinitely valuable. I'm sure you agree with me on this, right? Because the development costs are there still. We're still updating it. Engineers are working full time. Machine learning engineers are working on optimizing these AI algorithms. And for that matter, even your suggestions and requests are coming in. See, we had some questions coming in today. I want to kind of answer that. Like one of the questions was like, hey, is multilingual support available? So what we are doing right now actually is when you go and let's say you have some issues and stuff and you give us some details, whether it's in our Facebook group, this is the Facebook group, right? You go in and and you're posting there or even to our support group, which is recommended to our support email. So this is the support email. I'll send it to you right now. Support at CloneVoice.ai. So this one. So if you email us, like give us your project, like this one, give us your project ID and some other information. And then that way, what we can do is personally go in and check why some voice may not be perfectly cloning, well, language may not be perfectly cloning, because you got to understand, we are not experts in every single accent, not experts in every single voice. And just Spanish as an example, the Spain Spanish is different from Mexican Spanish, is different from Argentinian Spanish, is different from Chilean Spanish. The Argentinian Chileans are more closer to the Portuguese from Brazil because they share the borders. So effectively, just Spanish alone is like 5 different accents, right? Then you add the Colombian version of the Spanish or Peruvian and all this other stuff. It goes crazy. So what we want to know is like we can manage all 8 accents, right? Same thing with Arabic. There's Arabic from Saudi Arabia, Arabic from Egypt, there's Arabic from different parts of the world, right? And same thing applies, let's say, Portuguese. Portugal Portuguese and Brazilian Portuguese quite different. So what we are trying to get at is give us the information. Okay, I tried this and this outcome, and then what we will do is, okay, that's interesting. That was an edge case we didn't account for, and we will apply, because we support currently 40 plus languages. Then you add the accents on top, that could be well over 150, 160 languages and accents, correct? So you want to make sure we work with you and we kind of optimize things and then roll out. And there's some really cool things coming up in the next couple of days and stuff like that, which I'll get to in just a sec as we go towards it for Clone Voice, which will allow you, again, to make your storybooks and the other integrations coming up even better. Because then once we fix the edge cases and some of the other little cases that we maybe our beta testers couldn't find, because we have a limited group of beta testers and we can't account for every single aspect of every single language, every single country, every single accent, right? So that's one thing. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention as well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So which products the API key works with? It only works with so you can explain.
Correct. So let's say, okay, one key thing I want to mention here is that, of course, right now we have phase 1. Okay, we had 3 phases planned. Okay, more of course later on. Phase number 1 is Artistly and Clone Voice integration. So as a customer of Artistly and a customer of Clone Voice, you can now bring in your Clone Voices, your public library. I'll show that in just a second. Public library voices and some of the other stuff, the creative stuff into Artistly. Okay, this is through the functionality of the flipbooks and flipbook to video that you can create. Okay, narrative stories and stuff like that. And Yash kind of stopped the example. We'll show that in just a second. And then we'll talk about how to create, how we could create that and stuff. Second phase, that's going to be in a few days, hopefully sooner. We're hoping by the end of this week, is basically Video Express. Okay, so this is where basically you go beyond the storybooks and now you can add the voices into your videos. Okay, and the Video Express integration, we're just holding off because we wanted to kind of, again, deal with multilingual voices. We want to deal with certain things like, for example, our podcast feature, our audiobooks feature, and some of the other stuff we want to account for, like we were mentioning. Once it's finalized the next couple of days, that's when we roll out the Video Express, because the last thing we want is you creating all these voices and then bringing it to Video Express and saying, well, there is that apostrophe is not being said properly by the voice, or let's say numerical, like one of the things we noticed is German. One of our German customers said, hey, numbers are not perfectly pronounced in German. And we went back in and we fixed it. And we've been dealing with customers from all over. Okay. And I'll be making a post on this where, email our support team, please. This is something I wanted to ask you while we are at it here. So this is the support email, right? So please email us there if you can help us out in any of the languages. I'm going to be creating a WhatsApp group, okay, myself and our engineers, with specific people with specific languages. Like, for example, one person wanted to help us out with Tamil language. One person from Colombia said they want to help us out with Colombian, Medellin accent, right? So that Medellin accent has a little bit different from Bogota accent, for example, right? One individual was Nepali, if you're one of them, you want to help us out with the Nepali language, please let us know, right? Same thing, wherever you can, please email, because I'm creating the WhatsApp group. I'll be there, engineers will be there. We just need one person from each language, okay? So it doesn't need to be tons of people, and we'll award you this merch and stuff like that, whatever we can to incentivize you to help us out. That will only help us make things better. Because again, as I said, better with our customers than some random person who doesn't understand anything about the application, the use cases, and the ecosystem. Okay. So now coming back to that original question that came in about the integrations. So Artistly is first. So in other words, to make full use of it, let me explain how that would work. So initial, if you those who are Artistly customers, I'll share my screen here real quick. If you remember, folks, Artistly customers,
Uh, you're muted. One
I'm
second.
sorry, I got muted there. Yes, you want to say something?
No, no, you continue. I'll
Okay,
continue.
okay, cool. All right. So if you remember, folks, in Artistly, you could go into profile and then you could get your API key, right? You can generate a new key or whatever. You get your API key and then you went into Video Express as a Video Express customer and you could go and you could get into this, right? Import from Artistly. So this allowed you to take your Artistly images and turn them into videos in Video Express, correct? This was already done a few months ago. People were excited about it, blown away by it. This was part of that Artistly V5, I believe, update. And then also then we made it better with V6, which we are in right now, correct? So this phase right here that we're doing right now is CloneVoice.ai. So meaning, let's say, for example, you want to bring in not just your voices, okay? So for example, under my voices here, you see I have a Paul excited voice, right? But I also have a goblin warlord. I have a friendly giant voice, right? Little girl whispering voice, old pirate voice. Any one of these, right? Or any one of these from the public library, right? So if you want to bring some of these in, like corporate training one or sparkly princess, whatever, you can even search for them. There's 7,000 of this. Let me repeat that again, 7,000 here, right? And we don't want to bring all 7,000 because when you're doing a drop down, you don't want 7,000, right? So the idea is whichever one you like. Let's say I like this werewolf one. I put a plus icon and then I can bring those in from my voices by clicking on this export voices option. Okay, these ones I export them out into whichever ones I want to appear into Artistly. Okay, so you click on the export voices, you click which one you want to be exported, you click export, and then it's gonna say you want you're sure export it. It'll show up under your exported voices. So let me clearly highlight this so you folks can see it. So this is the exported voices, okay? We're doing this because, we don't want 7,000 coming in. You're scrolling down for like ever to find that one you like. Here, you can go through it in this application, Clone Voice. As a Clone Voice customer, you'll see the exported ones. These are the ones which will appear under basically your account, right? Into your Artistly account, okay? So can these be used in external applications? No. The API key and the integration will be within our own applications. Phase 1 is Artistly, phase 2 with Video Express, and then phase 3, in about 3 weeks, will be Talking Photos, all right? Where you can now use it to generate very long lip sync videos, singing, and all that kind of stuff, which we'll get to. It's going to be exciting, that one. So the idea is for you to get all our applications so that they can talk to each other, so to speak. And the other thing is the most frustrating part, right? Is I've seen this, even if, right, we did what other folks are doing, like, okay, you take our API and pay every time you generate a video or let's say in this case, voice or whatever, to make it work with some external application. It's very cumbersome because you got to piece together multiple apps, right? Just like draw a diagram here, right? Like right now out there, just so you understand, right? So if you put like a diagram here, right? And you're like trying to integrate applications. So let's say you want to integrate with voice, there's one application, let's say 11 Labs, music, Suno, let's say. And there is like, let's say, for instance, video, there's like so many applications, one which does well with scenes, one that's with talking videos, one with lip sync, one with singing videos, you get the point, right? So then there's like, there's another one for like, let's say lip sync as another application, let's say, right? Because the one with video may not do a proper job with lip sync, especially longer length, right? Like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that sort of thing. And then you add that. And then on top of that, you have to now understand how to be creative, right? Bringing the whole thing together. So you need to have the knowledge, right? And time, right? To make that happen. And if something breaks, let's assume, okay, this is the worst thing. I've done it, I know. If something went wrong with any of these integrations, let's say, right? For example, like between this, right? Now you go into some other external application, let's say 11 Labs. They will say it's not our fault. Go talk to this other application, right? Which might be the one their problem is. Why would they do support for an application they don't understand, correct? Same logic. So we started seeing the frustration. So what we're going to do is if something goes wrong, right? Like this example, today we went live. People were like, well, my API key was not visible. I couldn't see it. So I couldn't bring those into Artistly. Well, Artistly is our team. CloneVoiceAI is our internal team, correct? So we're merging together. We'll troubleshoot both cases. If there's a bug in Artistly that is not causing these API keys to work properly, or maybe in how you are using it, we'll fix both. Does that make sense? Because it's our responsibility. Same thing, for example, with the next few days, we have Video Express coming up. Anything else with that integration that is an issue, we'll fix it in both places, right? In Clone Voice and in Video Express. That itself is invaluable for you because that is how you can actually use these applications. Not that think it's cool, but actually use it. And the other problem is like once you start going more advanced and creating different workflows and stuff, you want to be sure that you don't have to pay extra monthly fees and yearly fees and stuff. Right now, what we're seeing is even, okay, if you pay, let's say, for example, you pay, let's say overall, right, all things considered for a video app, audio app, lip sync, you do it for chat, whatever you want to do it, right? You're expecting at least minimum $200 a month, let's say, right? Even there's concurrency limits, rate limits, how many you can do at once. There's limits on upgrading to another account, paying extra credits, all this stuff. So even if you make some mistakes, right? Let's say you created 100 voices, right? Let's say 100 voices and you made a mistake, let's say voiceovers or whatever. Now they're going to say, pay us more credits. You'll reach the limit, right? Here, because of the fact that you can keep creating it for one price, one-time payment, you don't have to worry about that. That alone allows you to be more creative. That alone allows you to think more bigger picture, right? How these all come together. That's how we are looking at it, okay? So just so you understand the vision here, right? And then once you get an idea, okay, I clone my voices, I see this public library voices, I can see myself where some of these like make sense, right? In different use cases. For storybooks, I'd want some of these unique characters, Rune Smithseer, Shadow Court Jester, you get the point. But maybe for professional video, like a talking head video, I might need the documentary narrator, for example. You get the point, right? We have all kinds of options. If you're not happy with anything here, you can go into Voice Maker in CloneVoice.ai, and then you can pick your prompt and get some stuff done. So you can hear professional voice, like human sounding, like narration, conversation. You can give it specific prompts to do so. And for creative voices like alien, pirate, fairy, that kind of stuff, you can just click create and then say angry ogre or like some specific type of voices. Okay, and it'll automatically create it for you out of thin air, so to speak. Okay, which is very powerful. And you know, for those who know, who understand that just giving it a prompt like angry ogre, or let's even say, for example, we'll say angry pirate, let's say, right? An angry old pirate, let's say, right? And then you can say angry old pirate. You don't have to write much. We made it simple. This is easy. So you don't have to write a big prompt and then I don't even know what to write in this here. And then you do it. It takes a few seconds and it generates the voice. And now these voices, you see these? Option 1, option 2 will give you these options. Once you pick them, right? You pick them and then you go in. I have read and then click create, let's say. You see angry old pirate. Now what happens is you can go into this export voices, right? And then you can export this, like click on it, angry pirate, export selected voice, boom. This can be brought into your Artistly storybooks now. See the point? How you're bringing new voices. You don't have to even clone your own voice if you don't want to, if you feel like your voice doesn't make sense in this case, but it's an option, of course. Either way, you have the choice, okay? It gives you more flexibility in what you can achieve with the end result. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention here, which is basically this is part of that ecosystem we mentioned, right? So you can get all this stuff, basically, actually, let me pull this up in this way. We actually raised the price up for CloneVoice. More price increases are coming. You can hear all this stuff for those who said, hey, look, I don't have CloneVoice.ai and stuff like that. So if I pull up the questions that came in, right? This was one. I don't have any of the software, right? Where's the link to buy? For CloneVoice, you get it here. If you have Artistly, you want to get it, it's Artistly.ai. I put the links below in that slider you're seeing, right? Artistly.ai or CloneVoice.ai. And the price is increasing every day. The next big price increase is tonight in a few hours. So when you go to that page, you'll see a countdown timer, right? So in other words, if I go in here, let me do it real quick. So if I go to CloneVoice.ai, if you go here, you'll see this timer, correct? It says some 8 hours or something. When you check, it might be different. That's the next major price increase, okay? So you want to make sure you get it if you haven't already. Again, no pressure. It's all good. If you want to get it, awesome. You see the value in it. If you want to get it later, it's just going to cost you more, right? It's all cool. What I do want to mention though is that this ecosystem concept, right? As I mentioned before, the first one that we released today is this. The artist integration released today, right? The next in a few days, we are hoping by end of this week, okay, will be Video Express integration. All right. I will cover the artist integration again for those who came in late. So this is going to be by the end of the week. Hopefully you're applying sooner, but we want to fix all the major little bugs that we are seeing from people using in different languages and stuff before we roll it out. And then the final one in 3 weeks time will be part of Talking Photos V3. Okay, this will be the next one. Now, each has its own benefits. Okay, in the case of Artistly, you saw storybooks, talking storybooks and stuff. If I go back here, this is what we did here. You see storybooks with your voice. Okay, and what does that mean exactly? So we'll play this for those who came in late and couldn't see it and stuff. We'll play this example here. Let me actually play this right now. Let me see. And again, this is an example of what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so let's see here. And this is the example of what you can create. Cool.
Crisp October night. 12-year-old Ethan and 10-year-old Lily were ready for Halloween. They loved their costumes, but they were most excited about the old Holloway house. Everyone whispered about the Halloween, searching for 201D. Ethan whispered, and Lily, clutching her broomstick, nodded, her heart thumping. The iron gate groaned open, and they crept up the path. Ethan pushed the front door, and it swung inward with a long, chilling creak. Inside, the air was musty and dark. Their flashlight beams revealed faded wallpaper and broken frames. 201 cello, 201, D. Lily whispered, her voice echoing. Then, a faint, mournful piano melody drifted through the air. Ethan froze, listening. The music was coming from deeper inside the house. Hand in hand, they followed the sound to a parlor. A grand piano played itself, and beside it, a pale shimmer formed into a woman in a long gown. The ghost, Mrs. Holloway, turned to them, her eyes sad and hollow, and whispered, 201 see me locket 2026 find my locket 2000.
This is the text error that happened while creating that flipbook. So just so you know.
26 201D. Then she vanished, and the piano fell silent. Terrified but determined, they searched. Lily found a golden heart-shaped locket in a cracked jewelry box. As she held it up, the air warmed. Mrs. Holloway's ghost reappeared, softer and smiling. She reached for the locket, whispered, 201 thank you, 201D, and dissolved into light, filling the room with warmth. The children bolted from the house, not stopping until their own porch. Breathless, Ethan said. 201, CNO, 1Y, 2019 seconds, going to believe us. 201D. That Y, 2019 seconds. The Holloway house grew quiet. The stories changed. Now about two brave kids who set a ghost free. Each Halloween, the house looked at peace.
That was, so basically whatever you had in your storybook is gonna say that, naturally pronounce it and stuff like that. So just wanted to show you that.
Yeah. One thing, this is a video, folks. Okay, very important. He's not sharing the screen. This is a video. Okay, that means you can upload it to YouTube, or you want to upload it to social media like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you can do so. Okay, and the other thing as well is that will there be an option to generate voice in longer stories? Basically, that is the audiobooks option. We're going to be rolling this out in the next 24 hours or so. We're just waiting because we want to fix some edge cases. Like we got like so many requests for people. Like, you know, somebody was mentioning here, apostrophe is not being spoken, full stop in German is not being spoken properly, or in Italian there's this. So we heard all those feedback, and we want to make sure that we fix all that in the next couple of days. We're already done, I think, 80% of them in terms of that, which will be pushing as one major update. Then we'll allow this, because the last thing we want, you generate 50,000 characters, you wait for or 30,000 characters in our audiobook, right? So I'll show you that feature, which will allow you to, and you can merge multiple audiobooks, by the way. So the audiobooks basically will allow you to generate up to, like 30,000 characters and stuff like that. You can merge multiple of them. We don't want like one apostrophe is misspoken. Then you'll have to regenerate all 30,000 characters. Not the best fun right there, because we made it simple, a copy paste easy. So that's the reason why I want to make sure that it's all smooth. That'll allow you to do that. And where are the voices in Artistry that were exported? Yes, you want to cover that?
Yeah, where are the voices on it that were exported? Yeah. So basically, these are exported from Clone Voice. That's right. These are the options not available. These are I created. I wanted a little girl to narrate my storybook. So I went to Voice Maker. I went to in the Clone Voice application. I went to Voice Maker. I typed in little girl. It gave me an audio. I exported using the process that I can even show you that now. And then all the voices started appearing, and I can pick from. Right. That's the whole point. So that I hope that answered your question. So that is the thing. And let Paul, you're seeing anything? Because it's so many chats, I'm just clicking over.
Yeah. So we'll cover all those questions in just a sec, folks. Okay. The idea is basically today we're talking about integrations and how to make use of the audios and the clone voices and the creative voices that you're able to create with basically CloneVoiceAI. And obviously we'll answer some questions as we go along. The main thing to understand is this phase one. Okay, I want to stress that point. Phase one meaning Artistly is phase one, meaning you can use it for, as we mentioned here again and again, bring your voices, whether it's your clone voice, creative voices like a goblin voice or a fairy voice or a witch voice or a pirate voice, whatever. And you can bring them into the Artistly flick books, turn them into video. Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. Of course, you can do other cool things with it, obviously within Artistly. Phase two, in the next few days, we're hoping by the end of this week, will be for Video Express. That means, you see, today we talked about flipping books with narration. What if you want to make stories like characters come to life, right? Characters are walking and basically characters are moving around, animated, correct? That you'll be able to create with Video Express. That's realistic, 3D, 2D, and stuff like that. Basically, that'll be phase two. And then phase three, which will be in 3 weeks' time, will be Talking Photos, okay, which is going to be part of that V3 update for Talking Photos application. Now, that one is basically, I'll get to that later on today. It's going to be also mind-blowing because that will allow you to go a little bit beyond this as well, okay? Which will allow you to do some of the demos we've shown in our website and stuff like that. That'll allow you to do that, which I'll get to in just a bit. Okay, Yash, you go ahead. You want to talk about where and how these voices appear within Artistly and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. I will show that again. When are the nursery rhymes, right? So it should be there as you know, as hundreds of people right now checking it. So probably by the end of this training, or as you're watching this, just hard refresh it. Sometimes as we're rolling it out to hundreds of thousands of users, sometimes it does not come to your account. So just refresh it. If you put your Clone Voice API key successfully, you will find it under AI Design Agent. Okay. So that's the thing. Now let me answer the question, right? Is where are you gonna find these voices in Artistly? Very good question, right? So let me actually show you this, okay? So I'm gonna share my screen. Alrighty, awesome. So okay, 1 second. Where is my screen? All right, there you go. So right, what you have to do is when you click on Create Flipbook option and create any flipbook from any story images that you created. When you click on Create Flipbook, an option called Select Voices will appear. You see, this is where all your clone voices will appear, right? So when you click on Select Voices, default option is what you already get in Artistly, okay? Cloned one, again, it pulls from your, because it's the language I selected, different language. Let me just refresh my screen. Sometimes it does not appear there. So, but idea is, basically, when you click on Create Flipbook, select the story, create the flipbook, select the voices, all the category will appear. You know, so this option is probably I have removed. If you noticed, before I regenerated the API key, that is why probably it is happening. So you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you miss the letter or whatever it is. You go to your Clone Voice application. I mean, because in this webinar, I regenerated a key. That's why it was not appearing. I will just copy the new one.
Yeah, so just a quick thing on this. Basically, just so you know, folks, okay, we're in a live event, and this is good. He made this, that error came in. So what he did is he was trying to regenerate the API keys, correct? So what happened is when he created a brand new key, the integration with Artistly obviously will not work because when in CloneVoice.ai, the key changed. The idea with this also is for security purposes. Sometimes you want to change your key for whatever reason. You will also be dashboard and also active accounts, right? So let's say somebody canceled their account or they got their account disabled, then of course, right, that key would not work into Artistly. That's why we want to make sure all accounts are active. It's a good thing that we got a chance to talk about this, right? And the same thing as well is you have the ability to generate new keys, but keep in mind that when you do so, the integrations would break because the old one doesn't work anymore. Okay, just as a key point, we have this option actually for our own thing. So somebody just doesn't copy our key and then starts, seeing this live webinar or something, and that's something nefarious with it, which is also a good thing for you. So tomorrow you're trying to, train your family member or somebody else, because you get up to three users, 3 devices can log in, right? For this, into your Artistly account and CloneVoiceAI account. Let's say you can use it in your office or whatever. So let's say in the office environment, right, where you're using this application for actual professional use cases, whether it's CloneVoice or whether it's Artistly. Let's say you don't want, for example, your key to be visible to somebody, you can keep changing it. That's the basic idea for privacy reasons as well that we did it this way. Okay, so yes, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So once you copied the new key that you regenerated from the CloneVoice application, just like this, you will come to your profile settings again in Artistly and save the key. Now, once you save the key, it will say saving the CloneVoice key and it has been successfully saved. Now, what you have to do is just do a hard refresh, just like this, right? And click on AI Storybook Studio because that is where all my storybooks will appear. Click on Create Flipbook, select any story, right? So this is the book I want to create. So I will select this story. So in a chronological order, it will select all the illustration page by page and click on Create Flipbook, this button. In the select voice, now here when you click on it, default is the option that you see, that is your Artistly default. Cloned, boom, all my voices. Designed, all the voices that I designed that I want. Public library, all the public library voices that I wanted to export. So in this way, you can take those voices from your clone voice, application, your clone voice, the voices that you designed, or even the voices that you liked from public library will now appear in your Artistly account just like this, and you can use it to narrate and to kind of add the read aloud narration to your storybooks and to your videos. I hope that is clear. So, yep.
And if you're having any issues like this, first of all, make sure you have the all access account for both, not the basic accounts. Okay. So Artistly all access and CloneVoice all access. You need both. If you have that, okay, and you're still facing this, log out and log back into both accounts. Sometimes what happens is it got cached. Some browsers cache these things. What that means, in other words, is they save your old information and don't refresh it. So you can do what's called a hard refresh, meaning you root, or just log out and log back in. Close your browser and log back in. That will help it because some browsers, we don't know why they're doing it. So just for reference, what you would do, log off, close your browser, log back in, and then you will see this in both accounts, okay? As a CloneVoiceAI customer and ArtistlyAI customer. Now, to answer your question, which again, some people were asking, was, let me share my screen real quick. So you will see the API key concept under the top right. You see this little name that I have here? That'll be for you. It'll be in the top right in CloneVoice. And then you click on it under settings, okay? You see the settings tab right here. You'll click on it. It'll come up like profile settings, an option, right? And then under that, when you scroll down real quick, you will see it under API key. We'll have step-by-step tutorials on it after this in the tutorials pages of both Artistly and CloneVoice shortly, but this is just for speed of implementation. Here, API key. Now this account does not have an API key, which is great. So then you go click on generate API key. This is how you do it, okay? That's step one. And then you take this API key and then you would get it into Artistly account, right? So you go into Artistly account, again, same thing. You go into profile, okay? And then you will see CloneVoice API, right? You see this right here. Again, let me repeat that again. Under Artistly. So first step, you took the key from CloneVoice. Second step, you go into your name under Artistly, okay? So step number 1 was that. Step number 2 is in Artistly, you go into your profile. And then in this particular case in Artistly, you go to profile. And then you scroll down and you'll see API integration. This was not what you need. You need to copy and paste your key here. All right. So in other words, if I get my key here, I generate my key brand new in CloneVoiceAI. I copy this, then I go back into profile, I right click and paste, and then save this key. Once you save this key, the voices will now that you choose to export, will appear under Artistly account. Okay. So what do you mean by choose to export, Paul, is your question. I covered this, but let me do one more time. So what we mean by that is if you go into public library or even under my voices, right? Like in public library, you're like 7,000 voices. You don't want 7,000 voices for you to just sit for 24 hours to get to which one you like. Similarly, maybe you cloned a bunch of voices. You want those to be there. So what we did is very simple. You can choose which voices should appear in Artistly. Okay. So how you do that is you go to My Voices. Okay. Again, My Voices is under this tab right here. See on the right, there's 3 dots that you see here, My Voices. Okay. So that's My Voices here, like so. Okay. And then you'll see under My Voices, all the voices here, correct? So what you're going to do is, let's say, for example, I want in Artistly to these voices to appear. Angry Old Pirate. So let's say this is the Angry Old Pirate voice and then Werewolf voice, correct? So let's say these are the 2 I wanted. You click on Export Voices first. Export. Okay. You see that? You're going to click on that. Okay. Let me do that right now. So if I click it, do you see how these check boxes appear right now? You see this? You're going to check which ones you want exported. You're going to click 1 and 2 and then export selected. It's going to say, are you sure you want to export these voices? Yes, I want to. And then it'll appear under, you see how it says here, all voices, clone voices, design voices, public library, and exported voices. What you're looking for is exported voices. Okay. Basically that. You're going to click on exported voices and then boom, you see this Angry Old Pirate, Werewolf, Wildfire here. Now, what's going to happen is these voices can be now found under Artistly, right? When you're creating the flip books and what we shared with you. Now, same thing will apply for Video Express integration coming up later this week, probably end of this week. And then, of course, later on in 3 weeks' time with Talking Photos. Now, what I wanted to mention here, and that is the most important thing, is there were questions. Can I do these things in other languages other than English? So right now we focused on English. Okay, so let me actually write the question that came in, right? This was the question, right? And our storybooks are marked in other languages than English? Not at this time, okay? We do plan to do that in the next update that we make. So you have to understand, okay? We have to make sure that we perfect the first use case, right? 70 to 80% of our customers speak English, and that's in British accent, Australian accent, that is in, let's say, New Zealand accent, Southern United States. There's so many factors just in English alone, correct? Indian English, maybe, for example, whatever. So what we want to make sure is with English, we want to perfect it, and which we are there. So now if you have any issues that you notice and stuff like that with this integration, let us know, right? So you can go in, I'll post that link here as well. Remember I showed you support at clonevoice.ai. So you'd want to let our team know and saying, okay, there is this issue I'm seeing or whatever, we'll fix it. So as we spend time perfecting this, the next rollout will be for other languages. This also applies, by the way, with music. That was another question right here. In clonevoice.ai application, if you go in to create music, right now you can only do it with English, correct? The reason why we're doing it is we want to perfect all these categories right now, which the team is working very hard to make it as good as possible. There were some edge cases, some small issues here and there that we are seeing based on what people are typing in the prompt section and stuff. So we have accounted for all that. Then we're going to focus on multilingual, because see, it's one thing to just release a bunch of features and like, okay, thank you, bye, right? We want to make sure step by step we roll out stuff that makes sense, that work properly for 70 to 80% of our customers, and then roll it out for the other 20%, knowing that what all worked in that 70% users will also work now for that remaining 20, 30%, whatever the case might be, right? So that's the goal here. So watch out for more updates coming in on that direction. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is if I pulled up this, I remember I showed you this right here, which was integrations coming in. So I said coming soon. Okay, that is kind of not accurate, because the Artistly integration, okay, let me write this down here. This integration is available today. right? That's what the whole purpose of the stream is. The next one is the Video Express integration will be coming in by the end of this week. Okay. But I'll just say a few days time because, I just want to be, I want to make sure that when we roll it out, it's ready to go and then you're ready to use it. Okay. So that's going to be a few days. And this is going to be for in about 3 weeks. Okay. This thing. And by the way, when we say 3 weeks, this is also with the Talking Photos V3 update coming in, which is a massive update, free update for every Talking Photos AI customer. Now, I want to make sure people understand this concept. Okay. It's something I have to stress sometimes, to get the point across. Every integration that we do is extra engineering resources, extra money, extra cost on us, correct? And we're doing that for free. All we want you to do is please buy every one of our applications here that will come as an ecosystem. Okay. That also helps us out to invest all the money we make into making these applications better. Just as an example, for this CloneVoiceAI application that you're seeing right now, that you can get at this link, right? The price increased a bit, but let's say you want to go right now here, CloneVoiceAI/go, you get it. Every single penny, just for reference, okay? Every single penny that we made in Video Express, in Artistly, in Talking Photos, we invested back in making these applications better. Because just as an example, Artistly V6, okay, 2.5 years ago, if you got it, V1 to now, it's night and day difference. All of these were free. We didn't charge for anything for any update. Just so we are clear. When people paid one time, they got all these updates for free. Talking Photos had 2 version updates. V3 is coming up. Again, that will be for free to each of your users, right? And then again, Video Express, we've done the second version just about a couple of months ago. I'm actively working on V3. Once we are satisfied with it, because it's going to be a major update as well, that will also be for free, correct? All the updates that we made so far were free. We didn't ask you extra money or anything like that. Now, that's one stage. To make each of these integrated to each other, right? The Clone Voice to Artist integration took us 3 months to work on. Video Express integration, another development team worked on for the last 4 months to make the integration seamless, because it's a different engineering team. We both have to work a long time alongside each other. And the same thing with Talking Photos as well, right? Now, why is these integrations important? Let's discuss that, because sometimes, I say, go get CloneVoiceAI/go. Awesome, go get it. Just with me telling, some people will get, some people, I don't know if I need an audio generation or a music generation tool or whatever right now. I'm not sure about it. I get it. I hear you, right? Because it's about the use case. What are you going to use it for? It's one thing that you like us and you get it. The other one is you get the value for your money, so to speak, right? So let me explain where this comes into play, right? So when you're going to CloneVoice.ai and simply you're asking me, tell me about that Talking Photos integration, tell me about the Video Express stuff and all that. So if you scroll down, okay, you will see all types of, demos, right, in our website. Of course, the price is increasing in just a bit, but let's ignore that for the time being. But if you go in and let me know in the chat box too, because I want this to be as integrated as possible, this discussion, all right? So we have that discussion. So when you see here, you'll see these demos, right? Like this Talking Owl, for example, right? Or this one where you put in like the talking animated character girl. I'm talking rich here, as you can see. Okay, talking puppy dog. You see, with perfect lip sync. This is on our demos right now, right, in our website, right? Talking tree animated character, for example. This one right here, talking monkey. You see the hand movements and everything, right? So these are cool, right? Because we drink our own Kool-Aid. Like when you see an advertisement like this, and we spend millions of dollars in advertising, and not to brag or anything, but we actually spend a lot of effort in getting videos to go viral. We spend a lot of effort, and there's a whole team in our that works on what converts online in different industries, and we actually drink our own Kool-Aid. We use our own applications to make these things possible. So naturally, you're gonna say, I like this, Paul, right? I see the point of prompt to voice, creative voices. I see, I get it. I understand, but I like this concept, right? Of lip sync and this. So what our plan is that, for example, with Talking Photos V3, which focuses on lip sync, right? For characters like this one, right? Talking Photos V3, right? Okay, so let me just correct that. Talking Photos, right? So Talking Photos V3 update coming up in 3 weeks is going to allow you to do this level quality. Okay, this is what we use, the same technology that we're going to be providing to users in these videos. Okay, so That is one thing I want to mention that is very, very clear. Hope you understand the importance of that. So it's not just a, 11 Labs alternative or a Suno AI music generator with vocals, but really, what are you going to use it for, right? So this is the ecosystem you're talking about. So then now you can use these voice to create lip sync videos like this. Or let's say you want to bring in singing videos. You see like this one right here, this lovely lady here, she's AI generated, by the way. So let me play this. So you see how she's speaking. Let's say you want her to sing or whatever, right? To be able to do this lip sync right now, companies charge by the second. Okay. So like, let's say a minute worth of lip sync will cost you at least I'm saying $5 or more, right? If any quality platform out there. In some cases, they charge you by 5 seconds worth of generation, right? One video is counted as 5 seconds. What we're saying is, well, talking photos V3, you can do stuff like this. And now you want to go further. You want to generate really, really high-end videos, right? Where like people are actually moving around, dancing, stuff like this, what we're seeing here. Like you see these demos right here, right? This is the idea behind what we're trying to tell you with app ecosystems, okay? Which means every single one of the applications you have of ours will talk to each other to create stuff that we are ourselves using in our business and showing you here, okay? So that way you know that, hey, I don't have to go buy some other tool. I don't have to go buy some other project. You know what I mean? Like, that is the basic idea that we're trying to achieve. You see, like every one of these, like this one right here, any one of these you see, right? Like this concept here with this animated character and stuff like that. You see, these are the things that we're working on behind the scenes to provide to you. So you have the power in your hands where all the tools you ever need is in one place with one payment for each of these applications, all the updates included for free. So that means, in other words, you don't have to go buy some like it's like this, right? You can see this and we would make a lot of money telling you, oh, okay, here's our link, affiliate link, go buy, say, some other tool, let's say a voice tool or whatever, for $99 a month. Okay, that will give you enough. Get a voice tool for that. Okay, let's say voice. Oh, by the way, pay another for, let's say, lip sync, get this other tool, right? Or for lip sync, get this other tool, which is going to cost you, I don't know, let's say $50 a month or whatever, right? Or $100 a month, doesn't matter. They have different plans, right? Instead of telling all that, you can get all of it in one place. That's what we are aiming for with the ecosystem we're talking about, right? Because we drink our own Kool-Aid. We use all this stuff in our own business every day in different industries and stuff. It's not just, we're just saying, but when you see these, you're impressed by the demos. This is how you can impress your end users, YouTube viewers. Let's say you own a YouTube channel. Let's say you want to create it to grow your brand or business or just do stuff for fun. You can do the same logic. Okay, exactly. Let me know in the chat box, please. So you understand when I say we are talking about integration, is that what we're talking about? That's exactly what we're talking about. Okay. And that is infinitely valuable because time is the most valuable asset, right? At the end of the day, one thing that is guaranteed in life, they say, is death and taxes, right? We have 24 hours in a given day. So we want to make sure that we are not investing majority of our time trying to pull through things together, creating like complicated workflows and all that mumbo jumbo stuff like people advertise these days. And then what happens with that? You create this big threads of stuff and one application doesn't work properly or raise their prices up, right? As we've seen recently, Google came with VO3. It's only in the $300 a month account that you can actually use it with decent amount of credits. Even that is not unlimited. Secondly, you've seen with ChatGPT, they increased it to $200 a month for the pro account. You really want to use it for serious stuff, right? And they released Sora 2 recently. Everybody's like, oh, Sora 2 is great. Do really use it? You need to have a $200 a month ChatGPT Pro account. So realistically, and even that comes with limits, by the way, okay? We've tested it ourselves, so we can tell you. So my point is, either you have two choices. You can end up paying $200 a month, $500 a month, whatever it is, put all these tools together and then deal with the headache of making one tool communicate with the other tool, communicating with the other tool, and just breaking your head against it, give up, right? Or all I'm saying is get these tools. Every single one of them is valuable. We've updated them. We'll keep updating them. We've been in business for over 15 years now. It's not like we're going anywhere. And every time you get one of these tools, it helps us invest back into engineering resources, get more servers and stuff. I just want you to be clear so you understand nobody provides the value we do, okay? And this is important to understand. People sometimes say, well, why is Paul again telling me this stuff? I understand the value of it, but for those who are new, some people come to one of these training sessions and stuff like that. I just want to basically explain to you that nobody does this stuff. They provide free updates for one-time payment. They don't go out of their way to do integrations between each application, so you get more value out of it, so you don't give up or abandon one of the applications. Or and thirdly, investing everything we are making back into making our applications better, investing in making the integrations better, listening to your feedback and improving things. Okay, we are not perfect, I get it, but perfection is not what you want. What you really want is actually, hey, look, when I put some money into something, is that going somewhere, right? Is going to give me an ROI? Is it going to be something that is going to help me save time, money, resources, effort, right? Time is infinitely more valuable than money. That's the whole point we're aiming at. So now we talked about Artistly. We're going to summarize this again in a second. Yash will come in and explain that last for those who came in late. But I want to talk about the Video Express integration coming up real quick. And again, I just want to mention that this integration is already ready internally. It's not like we are working on it. It's ready. It's just that we're kind of fixing some minor bugs that we saw from people report across different languages. We're also working on improving our voice cloning system from the ground up, because what happened in Clone Voice, right? We've been spending 2 years on this technology, okay? So this Clone Voice technology that we've been spending 2 years. So what happened is, like, for every type of scenario, we've actually done research and development. We have 3 different algorithms, for example, and in the last minute, we went for the easiest one to implement and use for you, correct? Now that we're getting feedback from you, so for example, you go into Clone Voice and you add that question, right? Can I use multilingual storybooks or other stuff? Well, now that we have your feedback, what's going to happen is, we know, okay, when you go to create audio and you're picking one of these languages, there's like an apostrophe missing or numbers. Like one of our German clients and customers told us, which is fair, I spoke to him as well, is, hey, look, when I say 1 or 2, it doesn't pronounce it perfectly, the numerals in German. Okay, fair enough. So what we did is we went to the second algorithm that we tested, like when we were developing for the last 2 years, and we presented it to the user, and he said, it's perfect. Awesome. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to implement that. Okay. Now, why I'm trying to tell you this, okay, is so people understand the importance, right? So I kind of want to stress this. When you get CloneVoice, you're getting that level of assistance. Okay. And I'm always available in our Facebook group. Sometimes it's frustrating as well for some users. They're like, okay, I emailed Paul, I messaged him and stuff like that. What we're working on is exactly this. Okay. So here's an example I want to kind of show you, folks. Sometimes, it's important I show, not tell. So I'm always in our group, right? We're discussing. So this was for a gentleman with the German here. I wanted to mention this here real quick. So check this out here, right? So, hey, you mentioned that numerals were not working well, okay? And I just said, hey, which one is better? I have 2 versions. Which variation is better of these 2? And he said, you guys are really fast. Thank you, Paul. If you need any help with German, feel free. If you want that help from me, okay? With your languages. That way we can add more. And then I said, okay, which one is better? The first one, it's my clone voice, sounds better. The other one, not so good. It's a little bit worse. Perfect. Got the feedback. We're going to implementing that. We're working on like 5 or 6 languages right now. So more help will help, obviously. So we're working on all these, and I'm always available to help out more of you folks. Okay. So just to answer that question. Okay. Now this is another perfect example. How do you provide Sinhala language, right? Can you please do? That's for Sri Lanka, right? So again, we need your help. Okay. So please email our support team saying, hey, I want to be one of the people who will help you out with Sinhala language. So what we'll do is we have a couple of algorithms we develop that we have to fine tune and optimize. So then when you email our support team, I will create a WhatsApp group with you for Sinhala language, Nepali language, Tamil is one we're working on right now, and some of these ones there. And then in the WhatsApp group, I will message you and we'll talk to you with our team, our engineering team. So like, okay, is this variation good or this variation good? Because we have 2 algorithms. Let's say we want to make sure which one is good for you. You might say, well, this one has pronunciation which is off, but it sounds like my voice. Well, this one has pronunciation which is perfect, but doesn't sound as much as me. So what we can do is mix and match what we feel works best, and we want to get back and forth from you. All right. That, I'd say, is the only way we can make things perfect, right? We have no other way, because every person is a bit different and stuff. That's the whole point of integrations and collaborative working. Okay. Is that clear? And again, I check my messages all the time, at the best of my ability. Sometimes, you mail to our help scout, our help desk, which is this email, or where you message me. Maybe the help desk was faster. So obviously we're doing that, right? Because we have a chain of communication. So this is how we are working, collaboratively making the application better. Okay, Clone Voice. And I understand sometimes you might be wondering, okay, I'm still on the fence, should I get this and the other applications? Just think of it from a bigger picture, okay? If you look at it. So the applications out there, which even provide, let's say, half of the value, are charging $100 a month. Why are they charging? This is a big thing that we get all the time. And I want to address that too. Again, hey, let's be transparent here, right? So we do get this. So let's say some people will go, and let's say if I go to 11 Labs pricing, again, not tarnishing them. They're a very good business. They do what they're doing really well. They have their own research team like us. They might have a bigger team, so therefore they have a bit more a number of languages or options and features. We will get there, right, as we get more feedback and do so. So let's an example, right? They have a $99 a month plan, which comes with 500 minutes of audio generation, which is about 8 hours per month, which is let's say about less than, I think, 20 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever, 23 minutes, 28 minutes, I believe it is, 28 minutes per day. Our basic $49 plan for CloneVoice does more than that. Okay. Now, people will say, and I've seen this again and again, no worries. Okay. Let's lay it out. People will say, well, Paul, it's all fair, but you're like the Temu, right? You're the cheap option. This is the more premium option. Let's address that. Okay. Fair enough. Let me explain that. So the point is, when you're buying a physical gadget, right? Let's say, for example, you're buying a phone, right? There's a cheap version of a phone and the more expensive version of the phone, right? Now, what is the cheap version? What's the difference? The camera might not be high quality, right? Let's say the critical version of the camera is not that high quality. Let's say, for example, the screen is not like very finicky. These are core features, correct? So then, of course, you're going to have somebody to compare to. The quality will be better in the camera of theirs. The speed of, scrolling to the thing, the quality of the screen is better. So they've made compromises there, right? And it's obvious. You can tell right away. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if you look at Artistly as an example, we run 6 version updates. I don't see any application which is better than Artistly right now in storybook generations. Nobody does it, first of all. And those who do it, they do 5 pages, 10 pages without personalization, right? Like in Artistly, if you go in, if I show you real quick, we've done so many variations. Like we have the AI Storybook Studio, which is going to be improved, and people are working full time on this to make coloring books better. You see, they're in beta right now. We're going to be pulling out our beta once we get feedback and do it. This doesn't exist in version 4 of Artistly. Version 5 of Artistly, only in version 6, right? You see this, it's a 6th version, right? As improvements keep coming in, right? And then the same thing, like if you're going to AI design agents, like we did, as you can see here, in the we have consistent character storybook, multi-character storybook, and script to storybook, right? You might be saying, okay, what's the difference between that and this, right? The one I just saw. What we're trying to do with the Storybook Studio is merge some of these features, make it easy for you to use, and make it more robust for you to use. And we're developing it further, right? Nobody's even talking about storybooks. Everybody's happy with perfect text. Everybody's happy with some upscaling of for basic stuff, right? And this is the problem. And I can tell you that for a fact. If we were to just work what other folks are doing, then the point is you're going to say, well, in my phone, Google Android or Apple introduced upscaling of an image or editing a text or something. Well, that is already within AI design assistance, right? In the human stylizer feature, you can upload or browse a photo and instruct it to change it, right? Change the hairstyle of this person, make it blonde hair, or add this or add less, do that, right? You already did it. And if we were just focusing on this one feature and not on storybooks and some publishing it to Kindle and stuff, we will be left behind in the dust, because you're going to say, and anybody will say, and this is for your benefit, I'm saying, will say, well, Grok from Elon Musk does 2 images a day with limits for free. Google Gemini does 2 or 3 images for free. OpenAI will allow me to do with my free account of ChatGPT some images, right? Yes, there are rate limits. They can only do so much, whatever. I hear you. But a new user who would probably want to get Artistly will say, well, some of the features like images and text and stuff in images, I can get it for free. Right. Fair enough. No, nothing wrong. But storybooks, in order to do one of these things, like imagine when you are trying to create a storybook, let's say it's 30 pages storybook, right? 30. Okay. It takes 30 servers from our end to run to generate 30 of your pages. 30 servers. And each server, just so you know, costs a lot of money to run. These are GPU, AI, and NVIDIA servers. They're not cheap. So I'm just trying to explain to you. These are not something where you can just go and say here. So to address that point where, some people will say, well, why should I get this 146 version? It sounds too cheap, right? Well, because if 11 Labs and other guys and gals are charging $99 a month, $300 a month, why are you doing it this way? Well, one thing is we cannot have all the features they might have, but the core features, first of all. Secondly, like say in the case of the phone, right? We're going to have the best camera, the best screen, right? Same example. We may not have like the best, let's say, for example, some small feature that nobody uses, right? Let's say some icons appear in a certain way, or let's say some specific thing. Maybe you will add if more people want it. But the core functionality will be as good as anything out there, okay? And here's the thing, the people who say that though, which is like, okay, I know for a fact, like, I could get better quality with the, let's say some of the other competing applications are the ones who cannot afford it to begin with, which is ironic because if you think about it, right? I know it because I've dealt with our users all the time. What happens is people come here, they will get the $99 account. They're excited. They want to start. Then they get limited, right? They want to create an audiobook or something. They're done. Then they get forced to upgrade to $330 a month. Okay. Let's say this is just one example I'm telling. I'm not even talking about the integrations we have and all that, right? Where you can create videos and stuff. What happens here is now you're pressured, right? So let's say, for example, you have a project you're trying to generate, let's say revenue or sales or traffic or leads or something. And let's say you worked on it for a week and now you're busy. Life came up, right? Next month comes in, you start all over again and pay that $330 or the $99. That means effectively, you're so stressed out about the monthly payments every month that you forget the importance of what you're trying to do, right? Because at the end of the day, progress is made through momentum. The longer you use an application, the longer you're committed to something, the more likely you're going to be to succeed because everybody gives up thereafter. Here, by the time third month or fourth month comes and you already invested $1,000 in, you will be forced to keep thinking about, okay, what am I doing this for? I'm stressed out and stuff. And that's the problem in monthly subscriptions. Unfortunately, that's the case with every other subscription out there, right? And so I want to address that point, okay? Again, not to, bash another platform. They have their benefits. We have our benefits, right? Just depends on which direction you want to take. And at the end of the day, for example, with 11 Labs, you maybe use the API for some other external application. If that's something you want, hey, go ahead with it. It'll have its own problems. What we are saying is integrate within our own applications, and that's 99% of the use cases you're going to have. You want to create videos in multiple scenes, multiple characters, and merge it and make a nice YouTube video or something you can publish. Video Express integration is perfect. You want to create storybooks, what we taught you today, where you can bring in and create beautiful narrative storybooks with your voice and stuff like that. Artistly integration is perfect for that. And then, as I mentioned, you want talking, singing, lip sync videos, longer length, not a scene by scene. Like Video Express can do scene by scene, right? 5 seconds, 8 seconds and stuff and create a whole story. Like this one is lip sync throughout, right? So you have one monkey character talking, cartoon character, or you have one, let's say a photo of yours that's singing and talking in a studio, right? These are the things. And you want to do it for a longer period of time. Talking photos integration with V3 coming up. It's going to be perfect for that one in 3 weeks. That means, in other words, in the 99% of the use cases, what are you going to use audio for? You're going to use it to generate videos. You're going to use it to create audio podcasts, which you can already do. You can use it to create storybooks, narrative stuff, creative things with Artistly. Or you're going to be able to create an entire movie, right? A short film or something, let's say, with narrations and stuff like that. Can do all that with these applications, which cover 99% of the use cases, okay? And that's what we're aiming for. So to address that, if you understand the value of what we're putting so much effort into, get CloneVoiceAI, you see that hat there, or go in that link and get it, okay? And we'll be answering the questions you have right now so that no question is left unanswered effectively, okay? So if you got the point in trying to make, please let me know in the chat box, because I want to address that criticism we might get for pricing stuff so low. Some people might say, well, I might as well get like a $20 a month account and, it'll pay off, like say after 8 months or whatever. I have 8 months to use it. My point I'm saying is that's one tool which does one thing, even at $20 a month. And then there's nothing stopping these companies which have so much pressure from investors and stuff to jack up their prices, limit the credits, push people to a upper plan, right? Nothing wrong with it. That's their business model. Our business model is customer focused here, and we will take your feedback and keep improving things. It might be rough around the edges when we go live because we're dealing with everybody, right? We're dealing with people from Turkey with Turkish language. We're dealing with people from Brazil, Portuguese. We're dealing with people from 4 different countries using 4 different Spanish accents, Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Spain, let's say. different accents. And so obviously we have to go and tweak it across the board. But that collaborative things means that we take your feedback and make it as good as possible. And that's where this integration idea came in, because number one thing people always ask us, okay, they see our advertisements, they see our ads where we spend millions of dollars to acquire customers like yourself, and we do it in a way without any extra external funding and stuff like some of these other applications. So we put our own money on the line, right? My own money, right? Yash's own money or Sid's own money. You get the point. We put our own money on the line. So we're actually risking our own savings and putting our own business on the line, right? So we have to be careful. We're not getting like some 10 million from somebody who just gave it, you can go try it out, right? Or VC money or whatever. So we know what you're dealing with. You're not raising external money from some venture capitalists in your life, right? So you want to be very resourceful with what you're spending on, where you're investing your time on. So all the demos that you see, you should be able to use with create with one of our applications, and they'll all talk with each other, integrate. That's the goal. You understand? And so because of the fact that we know what works with data that we get from millions and millions of visitors, and we know what to integrate and what to do before you even ask us many times. Okay, what's happening these days with AI? Well, this pace is so quick. You request a feature in our roadmap, like that might even be obsolete because a feature came so good now, it's irrelevant. Like for example, in the early days, like when we were developing lip sync, right? So you see this, right? People were like, I want this video. You see, like this example with video here, like this one. What's happening there? No hand movements, right? Just the head is moving, correct? Like, let me play that again. See, only the head is moving. Then where people are like, I want this head movement stuff. I don't want a static image that turns into a video with lip sync, right? So then before the roadmap could even get filled, this came in. You see this monkey, how the monkey is moving its hands? See this? Moving around and talking. Much more natural, right? To talk. So this beats that, correct? So we just go straight to this. We don't even waste our time to the other example. Let's say, for example, right? You see my point. So some details like this, we are working on all the time. So which we feel roadmaps are obsolete in that sense, because whatever is fast to implement that makes you get results, like where we actually are spending our own money, time, resources on the line to do it, helps you out. Okay. So that's the idea. Now, coming back to this, right? So just a quick point. So 7 hours from now is the next major price increase for CloneVoice.ai. So to the integration we talked about today, if you get CloneVoice.ai/go and you get this account, which price already increased a couple of times and it will today as well, you're going to get the integration access with Artistly. Remember I told you storybooks with your voice that you can then turn it into video, correct? This integration and stuff, these bonuses we mentioned, it's live today. People were saying, oh, you know, the integration is going to come maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, or never. Well, no, we released it literally 3 days after we went live or whatever, right? With CloneVoice. So that's how fast we are with this development process. This is going to come at the end of this week. And then this will come right after in about 3 weeks or so when we release V3, because V3 will help you do some crazy videos that no other platform can do right now, right? All right. So Yash, you go ahead. You want to explain something here?
No, I think so far I think we covered all the queries, and people are, everyone has started using it. Now that nursery rhyme thing, I want to say, right, it was not appearing for some people. You can refresh it. Like, I mean, sometimes there's a cache issue, right? So you can refresh it and it will appear in your dashboard. So just wanted to let you know about that, guys. And yep, that is the thing. And then as Paul mentioned, that's a phase two.
So where would the nursery rhymes appear? Basically in the Artistly account?
Design agents.
Okay, under AI design agents. Okay. So let me share the screen, folks. Okay, so those who are asking, let me remove this one sec. Yep. So what Yash is saying is, for those who couldn't see, so in the Artistly account, you see AI design agents, let's say, right? This one right here. You're saying nursery rhymes are not appearing. What we're saying is it's here, right here, called nursery rhymes. Okay, you may have to log off and log back in, close your browser, or refresh it. Okay, what's called a hard refresh, so Control Shift R or Command Shift R or something like that in the MacBook, or you can just log off and log in and close the browser and do so. It'll show up here. This is what he's talking about. Okay. Upload your rhyme audio and then you can do the nursery rhymes feature. Okay, we're gonna have step-by-step tutorials on it after, but this is what we want to explain. Now, just one thing I want to mention here real quick on this while we are here as well. Are you liking this kind of step-by-step training and stuff like that? Let us know, because I think there's a lot of value to be gotten here, right? And again, you can get both tools. If you don't have Artistly, get Artistly.ai and CloneVoice.ai. If you don't have CloneVoice, application. But I think like this Q&A type of process has a lot of value, and we can also see your feedback. What we generally do is we take all the feedback that we note it down. Like let's say, for example, like I have the paper here, like I'll note down all the major requests, like you see this right here, like so. We write down all the features people are requesting and we start implementing them. And sometimes what happens is somebody might go and request them in our Facebook group or in our support desk, something slipped through the cracks. We're always on top of it in these things, and we're noting down your request. And we also kind of export all these comments and go through it and sift through it, which ones were like kind of legitimate in terms of like some major bug people saw or something like that. All right. And I hear you. Okay. We do see your feedback. Like one of the things we're working on in terms of CloneVoice, it's a brand new application we went live with, was multilingual, support and cloning. And that does across different features and stuff like that. We're going to be releasing a major update in about a couple of days time. We're doing some final touches because I have a group of people in our WhatsApp group. And please, again, like I said, if you need any languages or anything you see off, please volunteer. Okay. Like, let me write this down as well. So it's clear cut. So I'll say volunteer to help improve multilingual support. Okay. So I'll just write this down here. So please email us and say, hey, I'm one of the people. So just give us your WhatsApp details, and I'm creating a group of people there who can help in each language. You only need one person per language or accent. Okay. So if you volunteer, hey, it doesn't take much time. And of course, as a favor, for your favor to reward you, we're going to be giving swag and stuff like that, like this. Okay. Is that cool? I just want to mention here so we're both clear. And then also finally, what I wanted to mention as well is don't be shy, okay, to be able to volunteer. It's only for your benefit, because I can tell you with a certainty, when it comes to this cloning stuff and audio and stuff like that, my biggest frustration with other applications out there, no matter how much they cost, $99 a month, $300 a month, or whatever it might be, is that some things are not exactly how I want it. When I email their support, they're like, oh, did you use this toggle? Try it for better assistance. Or can you go use this toggle for a little bit better output or something like that, right? And then I try it and I don't get the result. And like I tried it, and then now they're like, I'm not sure what the issue is. Try and upload that voice again or something. And I just feel frustrated because nobody's hearing me, right? And why I'm doing this right here to volunteer to help us out, and we'll reward you with merch and stuff like that, as I mentioned, for your time, is it's for your benefit and your community's benefit. Let's say you want to help Sinhala language. You help all the Sri Lankans, right, who speak Sinhala, who might want to use it. It's for your Nepali language. Somebody was saying, if you want us to, the whole country of Nepal, and any customer would get it from Nepal, CloneVoice.ai, where their language will appear here. You see, like in the Clone Voice, you see, come here. You want to clone your voice. You see in the languages list here, we'll put Nepali or Sinhala or whatever language it is. It'll benefit your own community, your own country, whatever you want to represent, correct? And that also applies with any bugs or any edge cases that you see. So please don't hesitate to do so. I would love to create that WhatsApp group and get moving with our team. We're rolling it out soon. First, we want to fix some edge cases and stuff. It'll be me personally with our engineering team and you, okay? So any feedback you give, it's as if you have your own team of developers working alongside you, okay? And listening to your feedback and hearing you out, okay? And that I think is valuable, right? Of course, for me, if that would be, I'd pay thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for people, because sometimes speed, right? I want to get things done quickly and I don't have somebody assisting me there, and it's just lingering, right? I remember some time ago, one of the biggest companies out there, I don't want to name them because they'll, again, not feel happy about this. We needed basically a feature in one of our text-to-speech applications. One of the reasons why we built CloneVoice. What the problem was is like, there were some issues like apostrophes and some things that were there. We were trying to put, there were some bugs coming in, especially in different languages and stuff, and also accents. And we messaged them and they're like, oh yeah, our engineering team will be in. Then they, after 2 weeks, they linked us to the engineering team. And then we spoke to the engineering team. They're like, oh yeah, this is expected for Q4 update. And then we waited for 3 months for that Q4, quarter 4 to come in, fourth quarter. And then they just disappeared, saying it's the holiday season or something. And we just gave up. Like, what's the point? We waited for 3 months, another 2 months. It's just a waste of our time because we will move on, right? And that's what happens with these bigger companies, right? With us, at least you have us dedicate the time and energy and effort to help you. And that will all come together for you in the end because it takes one time to perfect it. Once it's in the application and your language is here, you can use it for as many years as possible, right? We've been in business for 15 years. We're not going anywhere. And that's how we can sustain it with feedback like this. Because like I said, once you get your language in or it's perfected, you will spread the word with other people and other people will come in and we didn't have to spend any money on advertising. And in an AI era where your robots and AI is doing everything, personal touch is extremely important. And we know it. I understand that. Even I get frustrated all the time, right? So hope that is clear, right? Now, to address some points as well that I will do right now as we can, any questions that you're having and that sort of thing, is basically if you haven't already, okay, again, volunteer to help us out there. Just need WhatsApp details, okay? Your phone number for WhatsApp, if you're using, most of you do. So just create a group and communicate with you there. Second thing I want to mention is if you haven't already, get CloneVoiceAI here. Again, I cannot stress this enough. We spend a lot of effort and time to put it here. Again, the beauty here is, like I said, it comes right away. Like you get this account, right? You can immediately start using it within Artistly, okay? If you're an Artistly customer, immediately you can start creating video storybooks, which we explained today. You can watch this later on, the same training. And of course, we're going to have it in the tutorial section of both CloneVoice and Artistly coming up shortly, okay? The idea was this, okay? Then in a few days' time, we're going to integrate this into Video Express, okay? This is coming up by the end of this week. We can do it sooner, but I want to wait until we fix some multilingual stuff with your feedback and stuff before we roll it out. At least we're working on about 23 languages in particular, which we got people like yourself to communicate in our WhatsApp group. So those 23 languages will be prioritized first to make it perfect as possible, to make Video Express integration even better, right? In terms of accents and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, in about 3 weeks or so, we're going to have talking photos integration, which I mentioned as well, right? That's going to be for lip sync and stuff like that, specifically for songs, lip sync, and that'll be the V3 update. It's going to be awesome. You can upload your photo and then make it sing, talk, whatever, with perfect lip sync and longer length, okay? And with Video Express, you can do it up to 5 to 8 seconds or so. Otherwise, you gotta have to loop it. Looping, good, bad, depending on what the kind of stuff you're doing. And this is what Kling and other tools do, right? Like you might know Minimax and other tools you might have known. They charge you by the video. And even VO3, for example, with Google costs $3 per video. Same thing, 8 seconds or so, right? If you want a little bit longer length for that lip sync use case, talking photos is going to come soon because it's designed for that lip sync use case only, mainly, okay? Not for creating multiple scenes, not for making a movie out of it with the character running around and doing actions, but more for lip sync particularly, all right? That's the goal, okay? Just so you're clear, this is the goal. So you get CloneVoiceAI/Go, we'll basically do these integrations one by one, and they'll work hand in hand. Now you may be wondering, Video Express, how does that integration work? Coming up, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll just stress this clearly for you so that let me just go in this one of these accounts. Let's show you. Okay, actually, let me go back here. So normally when you go to Video Express, right, under import in your account right now, Video Express user account, you see import from Artistly, where you can bring in your Artistly images in your Artistly account into Video Express. You all have this currently, right? So I have the special account here, which we're going to enable this feature for you, where if you're going to import media, again, by the end of this week, we're hoping for to get this out there. You're going to see in import media, see this CloneVoice.ai, right? So same way that we showed with Artistly, your voices will appear with the API key and all that. You can just see public library voices. I have these voices show up. We can start, writing your script. It'll generate the voices. Similarly, under Create with AI, you can go to Create Videos from Prompts. This is where, let's say you can say a king, sitting on his throne or something, right? I'm just making up something here. And then you click create. It's going to generate basically the image, right? To start off with, because this is the first frame of that video. So what's going to happen here is effectively, you're going to see this, correct? This is the person. So now when you go in, you're going to see this link, this button called Talking Photos. So I'll explain that later on in the next training, because Artistly was first. This is going to be the next, okay, by the end of this week. Artistly, you can use right away, the integration for storybooks and videos. Click on Talking Photos, and then you click on Create Video here, you see. And then you go in here, and you see how here You have voice recording, so you can record within the audio, with your microphone. Import audio, where you can import a clip, which you can do right now as well. You can take a clip from CloneVoiceAI that you downloaded, and you can import that in. You can do that, but you can also do it where you have this CloneVoice.ai specific integration that's being worked on. As a CloneVoiceAI customer, all the voices that you chose to be exported and that you chose will appear here. See this again, and this will allow you to lip sync the character. Okay, with your speech and stuff like that. So effectively, that's there. You see these languages and all that. So we're going to be working on that down the line. Okay. So again, the idea is this will allow you to turn the clone voices, music, songs into videos, lip synced videos, and also storybooks with your voice in it, with or creative voices that you have, like Goblin's voice, Pirate's voice, and stuff, into these applications. That means all our applications will talk to each other and cohesively generate stuff that actually does really, really well. Now, I'll be answering some questions as we go along. No worries. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions you have over the next 10 minutes or so. I'll be happy to answer them. Make sure, though, I just want to stress this. This is our Facebook group. Please make sure you join it if you haven't already. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel, of course, if you haven't already, so you get notified with other training stuff we do all the time. And then this Facebook group is where you can suggest any features and stuff. We look at every single post. Okay. Some people will say, I posted it, nobody replied to it. Well, we still note it down. We have a full-time team monitoring all your posts, and we'll keep checking them, and we creating a list, right? And then we kind of sift through it, and we make a list of features and suggestions and stuff like that we want to prioritize on. Okay, so definitely do so if you haven't already. And of course, like I said, this is the link to get CloneVoice.ai, CloneVoice.ai/go. The next price increases in the next few hours from now if you haven't already. Now, let me answer some questions right now as we see it here. Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for this Dutch Flemish accent. Dirk was saying, awesome for Belgium. Excellent. So what I'm going to do, just give me about a week to sort this whole thing out, because we're still working on some things. So I'll create that group and I'll be happy to assist you. Just make sure that you are ready with WhatsApp. Okay, that's the main thing, because that'll be the easiest way to monitor things and organize, because all of you have WhatsApp. If I tell you come to Discord or Slack or some like Microsoft Teams or something, maybe most of you don't have it, right? So most of you already have WhatsApp, so it'll be easy for us to coordinate and stuff like that. You don't have to download an external application, remember to log into it and all that. It's gonna be messy, right? That's why we chose this. Okay. The other question was, after you've exported the voices, you want to use them in Artistic, can you remove them from the exported? Yeah, the good question, Larry. Okay. Yes. So how it works is, once you do so, you can always change around. So let's say, for example, let me go here. So under my voices, you see you have exported voices here. Okay. You see this? You can click on that, and then you can decide. Okay, right now I think we have this delete option, right? So you see this, you can delete it here. Once you delete it, it will not appear. Okay, it's a good point. You don't want to get it clogged up, right? If you have like 1,000 voices here, it's not the best option, of course. So that's the option you have here. Okay, now the other question that came in, how to get the API? Very simple, Valentino. If you don't have CloneVoice, get CloneVoice, get the all access account. And you're going to also need the all access account for Artistly. So if you're not an Artistly customer, go to artistly.ai. You'll see that link in the bottom, artistly.ai, and get it. If you have both accounts, all you have to do, I mentioned this already, but I'll just quickly mention this to you. You go into CloneVoice applications account. You see this little top right. It's going to have your name or whatever personal details. Go into settings here in the top. Okay. Go to settings, and then boom, you're going to see the settings. And then right here, you see how it says API key. You see this right here? You copy this API key, or you generate it if you haven't generated yet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to copy this key, and then you're going to go back into your Artistly account, right? You see my Artistly account here. You're going to go back here, and then you're going to select it, and you're going to go to profile. Okay, let me explain that again. Go to Artistly, and then you're going to click on profile, this one right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and you see where it says Clone Voice API, Clone Voice app, right? Clone Voice app. So this is where you're going to just right click and then paste the key. And then you say Clone Voice API key, save. You're going to hit the save button here, and then boom, you are done. So then what happens is all the exported voices we're just talking about right now under my voices, and then exported voices, they will appear in your Artistly account. Okay, cool. Hope that is clear right now on how you can do it. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's an all access. Now, why? So it's not for all users. So yeah, the reason why we didn't put it for basic account for Artistly is in the basic $49 or $50, whatever that account is, the basic account, you don't get access to storybook feature. So which is a critical feature to make this work, right? So in the basic account, you go and click create image. I'll show you. You don't get access to this feature, like this AI Storybook Studio feature anyway. So it's kind of pointless because that's the one where you have the narration, the ability to add voice to your storybooks and generate storybooks. So the basic account, you can't even create storybooks. You can only generate images and stuff. So might as well get it. And like I said, we've done 6 version updates in the early days when we launched Artistly in the beginning. We didn't even have the storybook. We didn't even have the design agents. We didn't have consistent characters, nothing. And we've added AI bulk action. All these features were added over the last couple of years, and it's only getting more and more updates, right? So it's worth your time to get it. This is a good question. Another observation I noticed was when doing a podcast, can we make corrections? Very good point. Yes, we're going to be working on this. So it's going to come in 2 ways, all right? And this is, let me spill the beans, okay? So what we're working on is, it's going to blow you away, right? I'm so excited about it. So when you go to my podcast right now, and then you click on create new podcast, right? So first of all, you have 2 speakers, correct? Speaker 1 and speaker 2. We're going to be releasing an update where you're going to allow up to 4 speakers. Okay, it's 4 speaker podcast. It's going to be coming up very soon, probably by the end of this week or sooner. We're actually finalizing it. So you're going to have speaker 3 and speaker 4. So let's put S3 and S4. So that means you can create 4 people talking podcast. Okay. Now, the second thing that we're going to be doing is when you create it, okay, you're asking me that question. Can we make suggestions and corrections? So right now, if you see, if I say Paul and Yash, right? And I'll show you. So I can actually show you the video as well that we shot on this. It's just for fun for like 10 seconds. If those who missed it, okay? So if you go into cloned, Paul excited, and let's say Yash natural, right? So in this account of mine. So let's say Paul and Yash are arguing about benefits of AI. Yash, Paul believes AI will create new jobs and is a source of good, while Yash disagrees and thinks AI can cause job losses, right? Something like that. And then you click create. So this will create the podcast. It'll create you layers, like the boxes system. So you can make changes to that. Okay. So that means you can go change any text that you don't like. You can change any elements that you don't like. We already have that mechanism. When you add 4 speakers, though, it adds extra layers of complexity. So we're going to make it a little bit more advanced in that sense. Okay, you can do it already right now. But with 4 speakers, you can't do yet because we didn't add 4 speaker compatibility. But also the algorithm. Okay, the algorithm is going to be getting a massive update, okay, because we did hear your feedback. And also we're going to be adding multilingual support at a higher level for this, okay? We're just kind of doing some final tests again with the people who volunteered to help us out. So far, 23 languages where volunteers were given. So we're working with those 23 languages right now. So again, if you want your voices and stuff, you can help us out. So the question again, see, you can make changes to these blocks, okay? Is that clear? And on and on. Now, let me show you how this is. Like, let's say you generate this podcast. How does it even appear? So let's show you. And again, I hear you, longer instrumentals and stuff. We are working on some options there. Right now it's 45 seconds. We're working on some looping and some other structures as well there. Okay. Now, the other thing is, like, if you are here, I don't know how to find or integrate it, please email our support team. Okay. Because I've already mentioned it before, and you can also watch the replay after this is done. All right. So you can go, basically, do so, like, again, because I've covered it like 3 times. Just want to make sure I cover other questions as well here. Right. Can you make a country music genre? Yes, we're working on it. We're working on a system to make all these genres. Like, again, don't hesitate to email our team and say, I want this and stuff, feature suggestions. Okay, we'll tag them separately. We'll be happy to assist you there. Okay. Again, where do I get it? Yeah, I've covered these as well again earlier on. So please make sure you watch it again, right? Because again, it'll be too long and it'll covering the same topics. But in a nutshell, what you're going to see is you're going to see it in your all access Clone Voice account under settings. Okay. Again, on the top first, you're going to see the API key here. You're going to copy this. You're going to go back into Artistly. You're going to go into a profile in Artistly. You're going to see Clone Voice app. You're going to paste the key here. So in Clone Voice, you're going to get the key and you're going to paste it here. Okay. Under Artistly. Now, so the other thing I want to mention is, let's say this one, right? I want to, because people wanted to see some examples. I'll be posting more as we go along into our Facebook group. But let me show you, right? So we were discussing, right, about the podcast one, the one we just talked about. So when you're doing a podcast, remember that Yash and stuff I hit create. Let me show you the example of this so that it will give you some idea here about how the quality of it, and it's going to be even better than this when we release it with 4 speakers, by the way. All right. So let me show you here so that you can see this in real time. Check this out. Again, this was created within the application in a podcast style. Okay. I'll add Yash into the thing just so that you know he's not speaking behind the scenes. Okay. Just add him in here. So this is the demo. All right. Okay. So actually, let me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So now let me show you. Okay. This is created with the podcast feature.
Welcome to the next 10 years. Today, we are tackling one of the most pressing questions of our time. Is AI an engine for economic growth, or is it a threat to the modern workforce? To help us unpack the more cautious view, I'm joined by Yash. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Paul. I believe it's a critical conversation we need to have now more than ever.
I agree. So let's dive right in. The core fear I hear is that millions of high-skilled white-collar jobs are on the verge of being automated away. From your perspective, how real is that threat?
It's not just real, it's already happening. This isn't like the Industrial Revolution. We're not replacing manual labor, we're automating cognitive tasks. I'm talking about paralegals, accountants, junior analysts, even writers. A single AI can now review thousands of documents for legal discovery in an afternoon, a task that used to take a team of lawyers weeks. That's not creating efficiency, it's eliminating an entire job category. The scale is terrifying.
But that's a classic case of seeing the losses and not the gains. You're forgetting the second and third order effects.
Okay, I'll pause it right now. Pretty cool, right? That sounds like Yash, me. And the other cool thing is, in this particular case, the question was, how long should the voice sample be? I literally took a tutorial video, like a training like this that Yash shot, like 20 seconds of it, and I uploaded it. If I actually had him speak in a more exciting tone and spend some time and uploaded that, I'll take that exciting tone. Whatever tone you give it, it'll take that. That's the idea here, okay? I hope that is making sense. Now, the other question is, this is the point I wanted to make. Will we be able to make a video with created AI characters from a podcast? That's what the Video Express integration will be, right? Allow you to create videos and then add these voices in and stuff like that. Of course, the talking photos one will give you a different set of abilities to do with more longer length lip sync and stuff like that. So that's what we mean when we say integrations, like I put this up, that's what we mean, all right? When we say integrations like this, where Video Express, Talking Photos, and Artistly and stuff. With Video Express and Talking Photos, you can actually bring these voices and create longer length videos and stuff like that, okay? And we hear you on the feedback about Video Express and stuff, how to improve it. Of course, the integration will keep hearing your feedback and make it better, all right? So that's the basic idea, okay? And then the other thing that I wanted to mention here is I'm seeing so many questions coming in, right? Can you make an instrumental music option? It's already there, by the way. See, sometimes we want to watch the tutorials for this reason. So let me explain, all right? So if you go into the CloneVoice application, you see this little tab, and we're going to make it streamlined, actually. If you go into that 3 dots on the top, you see here, create SFX, right? That allows you to make instrumentals, okay? So let me write this down. Create SFX is instrumental music. And you can even dictate, I only want guitars, I only want drums, right? This is the instrumental feature. It's already there. You can use it right now. So I can create instrumental. So all you got to do is create SFX and then sound name epic battle music with guitars or drums and brass, you see, and you can generate the length. We can do up to 45 seconds right now. We found out that that's the sweet spot where it starts, after that it starts not being very repetitive. So again, you can do up to that and you can merge it and stuff. We're working on some kind of looping feature, something to be worked on in the near term, okay? Something you're working on as well, right? Caribbean beats, yes, we hear you. That's going to be one of the categories we're going to do. Again, don't hesitate to give us more feedback on that, all right? Hip hop beats are coming. Yeah, it's the next update we're going to be working on. We're doing some fine tuning of it, okay? If that is clear, all right? So yeah, clear on that. Lip sync quality, we expect the same as talking photos. We are working on it. So first we'll be talking photos. Once people are satisfied with that lip sync, because there's a new algorithm we're going to be using with lip sync, you're going to bring that into Video Express as well. Okay, no worries there. But again, the main idea is that talking photos will be longer length, right? So it's a different algorithm, different mechanism. Like it allows to do very long length lip sync, not like 8 seconds like VO3 and some of these platforms can do right now. It can do longer lengths. So there's a different technology altogether. But yes, once people like it, we can bring it to Video Express, which you always do. There's that trickle down thing as well. But Video Express will be always a scene by scene, longer length video generation. The characters can do crazy things, 3D, 2D. You can have characters dancing, walking, jumping, running, whatever. With talking photos, it'll be specifically talking style videos, right? A spokesperson style, or like a person actually talking, right? The hands moving and all that, or a cartoon character and stuff. That's the goal. And that's why each of them have their own benefits and use cases. It's not like one is this and one is that, because in Video Express, we focused all our effort, right? If you go back into it, into the timeline editor, right? So it's more complicated and complex in a sense. It's for advanced users to have more creativity. Complexity adds more in terms of flexibility, right? You can add background music in one layer. You can add speech in one layer. You can add lip sync in one layer. You get the point. You can play around with it and do it. In talking photos, ease of use, right? You want a quick video, you want to put a voice, give it an image, boom, done, right? Nothing really fancy there. It has its own uses too, okay? So it all depends on which one makes sense to you for what purpose. And that's why we've done it in that sense, okay? Please let us know stuff like this. Do let us know in our support team, please. For Artistly Here, edit images and stuff, we'll be happy to look into if it's possible. Okay, no worries there. This is a good question. In the future, when you start charging or switch to subscription base, are we going to continue with what we have as of today? Yes. So you'll always be grandfathered in. So in other words, let me explain. So here, if you go back here, so right now, let's say you put in 146 or it goes up even more, right? Let's say new version update. So let's say we do CloneVoiceAI V2, V3, V4, it's going to be free. These updates will be free for you. We did that with Artistly, if you remember. For 6 version updates were free. Now, that's number one. So meaning you don't have to pay extra for any new technology updates we make, algorithm updates we make better updates. That alone should give you some peace of mind, right? Secondly, if we ever move to a recurring subscription, so let's say, for example, we charge monthly, okay, and we switch to recurring, you will be grandfathered in, meaning you don't have to pay monthly. You will be grandfathered in, meaning whatever you got in, you'll stick with that plan. Okay, so you don't have to pay monthly or pay extra credits and stuff. I hear you, right? The reason why you're even asking me this question is, hey, how can you sustain this long term at this price? Yeah, the reason why we do is, first of all, word of mouth. Like in this particular case, for those who came to the webinar, right, this live stream, this training session, so to speak, you're all our existing customers and stuff. We care about you, you care about us, right? You have the time you took in here. So of course, you got in with no money spent on advertising to acquire you as a customer, correct? So we want to pass on all the savings to you. Okay, just a reference so you understand these companies out there, who raise venture capital money because they have to show growth at all costs. A $99 a month account, let's say in 11 Labs or whatever, because we do advertising, we know they're spending upwards of $1,000 or more to acquire that customer. Okay, so about $1,000 or more. Just advertising is just so expensive these days. So you're spending that kind of money on acquiring, right, a customer. You don't have that focus where, look, okay, I'm going to basically pass some savings I get and stuff. You just create another plan to make upward ascension, we say, right? Upsell the user to go above a level. Here, when you put this here, you're going to get it with no upsells, nothing additional to buy. You can immediately log into the application. We don't put any shenanigans or confusing stuff there, okay? The way we can sustain it, we've been doing this for 15 years and stuff. I just want to be clear so you understand how we sustain this is that, first of all, word of mouth. A lot of our products get insane word of mouth. We get thousands of reviews across platforms. So people love our products and stuff. So other people come and spread the word and buy. That's number one. And second thing that we do is people buy our other products as well, right? Which helps us invest all the money we make from these into improving them and stuff like that. And you'll be surprised to know, I guess, if you don't know, we are the last company. Okay, let me repeat that again. We are the last company left who can actually do at scale that we do one-time pricing with free updates. Okay. Every other major company which tried to do it at scale, they disappear after 6 months, after 1 year. Why do they do that? Well, there are two problems. First of all, they spend a lot of money in advertising. When they run out of the money, they bail, first of all. Second thing is they don't focus on the longer term, right? So let's say, for example, last 5-6 months, we've basically invested every penny we made into updating our applications, adding more updates, and also, building in next generation technologies and stuff, correct? Because of our love our customers have shown in buying Video Express, buying Talking Photos, and buying Artistly and stuff like that. Meaning, people are basically buying our other products and investing in it. So which allows us to invest all of that money in. And because I've been in this business for 15 years, I'm not desperate for money, right? I made my money many years ago successfully. I've done it for many, many years, right? So money is not the key goal. We want to give value. Now, the end result, what we're aiming for, and this is something I mentioned, and it's going to happen undeniably. I'm pretty confident about it because I've seen the trends over the last 15 years, right? So what's going to happen in every industry, right? There's only going to be two winners, right? Obviously, if you look at search as an example, there's Google, and Google is majority, and then there's Bing, right? Bing takes a little bit, Yahoo search very little, but the two biggest ones you could say is Google and Bing, let's say. In the case of, let's say AI, it's going to be ChatGPT and somebody else. Who that someone else will be, probably for maybe Google or somebody will be, right? Well, I don't know who it will be right now, Anthropic or whatever, but ChatGPT will be one of them. In the case of, let's say, voice cloning technology, it'll be 11 Labs and somebody else. We want to be that somebody else for Clone Voice. In the case of video generation, maybe it's VO3 today or Kling today or whatever, and somebody else, we want to be the second somebody else. And when that happens, right, and I've seen that happen many times, at the end of the day, it's a very fair comparison, right? Okay, this is this pricing, it's venture backed, blah, blah, blah. They're going to raise pricing once they decide to now be profitable, let's say, because they're throwing money on venture capital to show more revenue, whatever. Then what happens is like, it's a straightforward comparison. Even if we raise our prices up at that time, which will not raise for you as your grandfather in, the rest of the people, right, who will come in will happily pay triple of this money, right? Or quadruple, or even a recurring subscription, whatever, because there's only one other alternative. And the other alternative, is, let's say, one other company which charges more tiers or whatever, upsells and credits and stuff. And we are here, right? So that is the goal. And we've done that successfully many, many times. That's why we've been in this business for 15 years, not gone anywhere. And that's why I put my face and name on the line, right? Like when you come in, there's a person, like a Paul, like I can complain to Paul in the Facebook group. I can yell at him, and I can tell like I'm not happy about it. Somebody you can know that I'll take care of it, right? I'll put my reputation on the line every time and not hide behind a company and disappear. So don't be afraid in that direction, okay? It's like I'm willing to basically be able, right? Like I'm willing to put our reputation on the line because we're confident in what we have in terms of value. And also I'm willing to put so much effort with our team and everybody because we know that with your love and your support, the application will only get better. It's like, as I mentioned to you, most people buy a phone, as you can see, for two reasons, right? Camera for the phone, right? And also the screen, the quality of the screen. 80% of purchases for the phone are done because of that. Because of that, you'll notice battery life is another one, obviously, but these 4 or 5 reasons, right? People are not buying a phone, because like one little toggle is in there better, or like an alarm clock has a little bit different UI, user experience, or graphic than the other phone, right? You're buying for camera, battery life, and screen, correct? 3 major features, let's say, or maybe 5, whatever. We are focusing on making those 5 features the very best. voice cloning in the case of cloning voice, multilingual voice cloning, right? As good as possible. Podcast as natural as possible, multi-speaker, which no application can do properly right now. You'll see it when you see our podcast feature released soon, right? And of course, integrations, right, with other applications to make everything work hand in hand. And the fifth one will be the music, right? Songs and stuff. You saw categories and stuff like that. We're going to make it better and better and the best in its class, or at least the second best, let's say, okay? The point is that at that point, because we focus on those 5 features and not 100 features, you will know that they're the very best. And maybe we miss 10% of the potential customers we could get because we didn't have 500 features. But those 5, the 90% of people who value those will spread the word and say, this is the best 5 features I have, and they allow me to do so many different things. And finally, on this topic, to basically reiterate that point, we are very, very experienced when it comes to marketing, okay? When it comes to advertising, when it comes to customer acquisition, lead generation. That's something that I grew up learning, and I've invested the last, 16 years of my life into it along with our team. So what that means is many times when we come up with features and stuff, we're able to address them right away before you even ask us. Like in Video Express, you have a feature. In Artistly, you have a feature like this stuff we were discussing today. In Clone Voice, you have a feature you want. Like, say, for example, you need it for specific cases. Like you didn't even ask for public library. We put it because we know that's valuable for narration, storytelling, and stuff. Now, one of the things people say is, I came into your website, CloneVoice.ai. How do I do videos like this? Right? Like a talking monkey or whatever. Is there an integration that you have with another application, right? I just don't want to create voices. I also want to create lip sync, stuff like this. Well, that's when the integrations come into play, like we discussed today. I want to create like this, like a real person talking, right? All of these are internal technologies in one or the other application. If not now, they're going to come in as a new future update, correct? That's what we're working on behind the scenes. So the reality of the situation here is that you can know that we drink our own Kool-Aid. You know that when you are coming in here, the stuff we are using to actually market, advertise, get new customers, net new leads and stuff is something that you too can kind of create, and we'll train you on how to do it like we did today on artistic integration, storybooks and stuff like that. That alone is worth a lot more than what you can get here. It saves you time. You know, my mentor taught me, it was a very, very successful gentleman. What he taught me is, look, I'm giving you mentorship. Like, this is the point he mentioned to me. He's like, see, in life, it's the Pareto principle, right? What does that mean? It means, 20% of the stuff that you do gives you 80% of the results, correct? Results. And then what he told me is, a lot of people just think, oh, what is this 20% I need to do? That's not what mentorship is. What mentorship is 80% of what you should not be doing from experience, correct? Because this gentleman had like 40 years of business experience, right? And then it was a very successful gentleman. Anyway, so like 40% of what not to do is more successful, more important for you, right? Because you don't waste your time not to do. So that is the reason why what we are trying to achieve here with you, right, is to focus on that 80% what not to do than that 20% what to do, because 20% of what to do could be different for different industries and use cases. An e-commerce business or Etsy business has different use cases, right? Somebody's publishing a book on Kindle, Amazon Kindle using Artistly storybooks feature has a different use case of that 20%, right? But 80% is very standard, what you should not be doing. Let's say, for example, what do we mean by that is in the case of Clone Voices, right? One of the things that you should not be doing is you just generate a bunch of voices, right? And just having it downloaded and doing nothing for you, correct? You want to do something with these voices, instead of just thinking it's a cool thing to do. Similarly, when you're trying to generate music, right? One of the things people just end up doing is just create a music file and they're done, right? They don't know what to do with it, where to publish it, what to get results with it. Those are the things you should not be doing. Similarly, when it comes to, let's say, for example, podcast, same logic, right? Cloning a voice. A lot of people are like, well, I just came in, I want to clone my voice, right? And I want to basically generate a voice in my language or something, right? And I just want to do it because I want to see how my voice sounds like, right? Well, that's not something you should be doing for fun. But what's the use cases? Why do we need your voice? Is it for your YouTube channel? Is it because you want to, replicate yourself, clone yourself, so to speak, so that even if you're publishing any audio podcasts or you're publishing any content online, you don't have to come and sit and speak every day on the microphone, right? This is the thing that I'm doing internally right now. You see, this one is live, right? It's interactive with you. In many cases, though, I have to create content where I'm sick or I have a sore throat or something like that. I use my AI voice for it to be able to generate that content even when I'm asleep, even when I'm not available. Some things, it might save me an extra 40-50% of my time to be able to do so, right? This is the things that we're looking for, all right? Now, let me see here a couple of the questions that I have here. So basically the questions that came in, which I'll be answering in just a second. Where do we see it in Artistly once we got the API? I mentioned this already, you missed it. So here's the thing, okay? You're going to see it as a part of the Flipbooks feature. Okay, so when you create a storybook, when you put the API key in, you're going to see it in one of these storybooks feature, right? Or you're going to see it basically in the AI Storybook Studio, or you're also going to see it under the AI Design Agents, Consistent Character, Multi-Character Book, and Script to Storybook, one of these. Because when you generate a storybook, right, you remember, go to my Flipbooks, when you create a Flipbook, right, in Artistly, remember you have a read option, right? You have a download option. Now a new feature comes up called Convert to Video. Okay, that is what we're talking about here. You're going to see that in the narration will be with your voice. That's what we mentioned earlier on. Definitely watch the replay we show you specifically, all right? Carefully, right? And what is the difference between the 146 plan and the 46 plan for CloneVoice? So meaning, in other words, what's the difference between this plan and this plan, correct? So if you go into the page, clonevoice.ai/go, I'll show you. If you scroll down, actually you can click on this button, it'll scroll down to the bottom. There's two charts, right? Two charts. So basically in the basic account, you just get multilingual voice cloning and AI voice dubbing, right? And some system voices, you get 30 voices or something. And that's it pretty much. And 30 minutes of audio daily. Here, all the voices like multi-speaker audio podcast, voice changer, prompt to voice maker, which is basically our voice maker feature, where you can give it a prompt and be able to generate it. A music maker, so music with vocals and stuff is included in the all access plan. Emotions to your voices, basically this is where once you've cloned a voice and you want to use it, like expressions like laughter, angry voice, sad voice, or expressions and stuff, you can do so. And you got 7,000 premium AI voices library as well. So effectively what this is, you go to public library, all these 7,000 voices that we built, you can get access to it with a $146 or whatever the price will end up becoming plan. And of course, we have the Viral Script Genie, Kids Music Studio, and all that kind of stuff. All right. You can generate unlimited audio creations. And so meaning you can generate unlimited voices, unlimited music, emotions, up to about fair use, which is 2 hours of audio daily. This is actually mapping to 11 Labs' $300 a month plan, which comes with about 1 hour, 10 minutes of audio per day, roughly. So this is double of that, roughly, okay? And you get faster generation time, obviously, because we run more servers for this, okay? Obviously, you'd want to get this 146 plan. The reason why I even offered this plan, this $49 plan actually, is for people to get a taste of the application. We no longer run free trials or anything. People always ask us why not. It's because servers, these NVIDIA servers, AI servers are so expensive and so short in demand, right? We try to get the allocations from them with Amazon, Google, and some of these platforms. They charge us $8 an hour, just so you understand, okay? $8 an hour. For one of these H100s and other GPUs, okay? You can go check it out if you want. I mean, $8 an hour for one of them. We are anyway running like hundreds and hundreds of these every day. It costs us a lot of money. And so what happens is that if we give a free trial, that means that free trial user effectively is using up one of these servers that will hurt these people, right? So we stopped doing free trials for this reason, all right? And we just give this one because, yeah, I mean, some limited features here, of course, but at least you can upgrade it later on, right? To this all access account effectively. But if you want, just get this here because the price of this will keep increasing. And thereby when you want to buy this and upgrade this, that becomes more expensive as well, okay? Just want to do so, okay? So of course, yeah, those who understand CloneVoice gives much more for one-time price. Of course, appreciate that. Yeah, it took us a lot of effort. Okay. Now, and the other question is, thank you so much. Appreciate you here. Thank you for giving your feedback in. Thank you so much that you do. Thank you as well. And so, yeah, I think we answered pretty much all questions. But in case I didn't, please make sure you join our Facebook group there, that Facebook group thing. And definitely you can ask any questions, collaborate and ask questions. And also, again, I want to stress it, please, I'll be grateful. I'll give you some of this merch and stuff for free as for lending your time here. Please volunteer to help us improve the multilingual support, okay? That could be your language is not in the list. So let's say, for example, like we go in here into the Clone Voice application. So like you go in here to Clone Voice and you go here. And your language is not here, let's say, okay, let us know. You want to volunteer to add your language, okay? Second thing is, let's say one of the languages here is not great, like pronunciation is a little bit off, or the similarity with your voice is a little bit off, whatever, right? Because the situation is we didn't test every single one. We did the best we could, right? With the resources that we have available and the people in our beta tester group. So maybe we missed a couple of them or a few of them here and there. So let us know, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add you in. I just need one person in one language or accent, like one British person, which I know British accent, obviously, but let's say a Welsh accent. I don't know how Welsh accent sounds, for example, right? Or we need one person, let's say, from Colombian Spanish, okay? Or we need one person who can speak, let's say, Chilean Spanish, because of the accents there, Argentinian Spanish, let's say, or Spain, right? Castilian Spanish, same thing, right? Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, or Portugal Portuguese. So we need some help there to refine it and make it better. It won't take much time. We just need some back and forth. We'll be like, okay, these are the 3 algorithms we've tested and fine-tuning settings we've done. Like one we put this way, one toggle we did this, one toggle we did that. Which one of these 3 is good for you? Which one is good? And you give us feedback and say, okay, this first one and pronunciation feels good. Second one was more similar to me. Can you mix both of them? That'll be perfect. That's all we need to know. Once we know that, we can go back and give you that perfect result. And now it's for the benefit of everybody. Next time they put one of the languages, perfect from the get-go, right? That's what we're looking for. So please volunteer, and we're going to start rolling this out, where I'll be personally in that group as well. You know, personal access to me to help you out there. And thank you for helping others. We appreciate it, not be forgotten. The other thing is that I'm going to be in the WhatsApp group with our engineers and working alongside of you, okay? It will be greatly appreciated if you can lend some time there. We're not looking for extraordinary amount of time. We're not looking to you to engineer a solution and just give you feedback. This is good, this is bad. This could be better, this you could do better. That's all we need, okay? And be ready with your WhatsApp information. I'll personally add you to the group, and you'll get discussion. And why WhatsApp? Well, only reason why I want it in WhatsApp is because, you know, everybody has it, as opposed to Slack or Discord or something where now I have to go teach you how to use those other applications, which is going to be messy, right? Not the best approach, okay? If you can do that, it'll be great. And again, if I don't get back to you on it, that means we already took one person, okay? And that's good for you because, hey, you know, maybe you're busy with other things anyways, okay? Which we appreciate. So if we already have, right now we have people for 23 languages. I can't remember which one of these. So those are set. We're working on. Anything above that or accents and stuff we didn't account for will help you. We need your help effectively, okay? All right. So that's the other thing I want to mention. Now, again, if you haven't gotten it, the next price increase is happening soon for CloneVoice, about 6 hours from when I'm recording this. Please, if you haven't gotten it, get it. And of course, if you haven't gotten Artistly with the integration we discussed today, please get Artistly as well. You can get it at artistly.ai, get the all access account, or if you have the basic account on Artistly, upgrade in your account under my purchases. You'll see in your Artistly account, you upgrade to the all access Artistly account. If you already have both, excellent. No worries. Okay. You can use both and start integrating and creating narrative storybooks and stuff like that. All right. And if you came in late, please watch this replay, especially the first 30 minutes. Okay. That's when we showed you how to link your API key from within your CloneVoice account, like so, your API key. Then how can you paste it into your Artistly account, like so, under the CloneVoice API key here, you know, stuff like that. All right. So we did address that. So just watch it again. But by the way, we'll include them in the tutorial section. You see this tutorials tab on the top. In the tutorials page of Artistly, we'll also mention that in the next couple of days. Same thing, and also the CloneVoiceAI tutorials page. You know, in this tutorials page as well, we will address that. One thing I wanted to mention for those of you from other languages, if you see here my tutorials that I've shot, let's say this one, what we did, which is something pretty cool. I'm so excited about this, by the way. So what we did, if you go into the settings tab, right? The last thing I might mention is pretty exciting. So if you do this, we tested this out. Let me know. Okay. We go in here, and you can go into audio track. Okay. You see this audio track on the top when that shows up. See this audio track thing here. You see this. You can actually dub this. It's automatically done. This is another reason why we're so excited about the dubbing feature in Clone Voice. So you can do now. See, English is the original. You can have it speak in your language of choice, right? So we have all these supported languages like Spanish, Japanese, Indonesian, Bangla, and stuff, Arabic and stuff. So now you'll have me narrated the tutorials in that language. Was the biggest requested feature for us because people from, let's say, Mexico or Colombia or Argentina or Brazil or Portuguese, Italy, Germany and stuff, they're like, hey, can you create tutorials in my language, right? So that I can reference it easy because English is not my first language. So we did this year, okay? And we plan to add more down the line, but you can basically go to the audio track of any of these videos and you can listen to it in the same language, and the syncing is perfect. Okay. So again, we're doing something unique this time. I want to plan doing it more of this stuff for you folks, for your benefit. It's pretty cool. Okay. That's another reason why we did in the tutorials page. Okay. Starting with Clone Voice, it will be there as well. Okay. Now this question, Video Express is not showing, not yet. Okay, it's going to come later in the week, okay? So I'll announce it just like how I announced it right now. It's going to be coming by the end of this week. We want to roll out Artistly first, fix any major bugs, minor bugs, whatever integration stuff you guys and gals are dealing with, then roll out Video Express. We're also doing some other Clone Voice adjustments and updates which I'll release in the next couple of days. After that, we're going to release Video Express, okay? You'll not see it in your account right now. It'll be available later on, probably by the end of this week, we're hoping for. Give us a day or two extra if it's needed. We'll make it perfect. But yeah, okay, just hope that answers your question. Okay, it's not ready today. It'll be available by the end of this week. What's available today is the Artistly integration. Okay, so just summarize this topic. I'll just again stress it again because we did talk about it. This integration available today with Artistly for storybooks and narrations and putting your voice into storybooks that you can export as a video now in Artistly with your voice and stuff. This is available today. Next, okay, this Video Express integration by the end of this week is planned, okay? So I'll say end of the week. I'm hoping for sooner, but again, please give us extra day or two if needed because we want to do it properly, right? So end of this week is planned. So you'll see in your account. I'll explain. Same like this, we'll do a training for you so there's no questions at all, no confusion. And then finally, talking photos, okay, will be basically 3 weeks from that, okay? Plus or minus days depending on when you roll it out, because that's also going to be coming in line with Talking Photos V3 update. That's the big reason why we're doing 3 weeks. It's not that we cannot implement it right away. Is the V3 update is going to be a massive update. Like, I mean, it's crazy because amount of technology we added in there. So it's another reason why you want to get Talking Photos.ai or VideoExpress.ai if you don't have it already, because it's worth it. Okay, the amount of effort we put in for the integrations, the amount of effort we've done for the updates and stuff to make them go hand in hand is just insane level effort and commitment from our team. It's crazy. They worked so hard for this stuff, and you'll be rewarding them for that too, right? Which is appreciated for the lowest possible price you can get them anyways, for one-time payment. All of these applications, one-time payment, lifetime access, free updates, no upsells, free updates. Okay, very important. Nobody else is doing that in the marketplace today. And it's extremely hard for us to do it. We are making it work with your support and assistance, again, because you help us focus on the features that matter rather than focusing on 100 different features that don't matter, nobody's going to use, right? Which makes a smaller team do the amount of output 1,000 employee big corporation can do, because we only focus on those 5 major features that everybody wants, as opposed to 100 different features that we experiment and then dump later because nobody's using it, right? So we go directly from you get feedback and improve it, okay? Hope that clarifies things. And again, if you haven't already, this is your last chance because price is increasing. Again, today, the next major price increase, go to CloneVoice.ai. We put a lot of effort into this application. Even at this price, it's a steal. I know because I've used every single application out there. So if you haven't already, if you like this type of training and stuff like that, you will know for a fact how much commitment we put in the application itself, right? And we're doing more of these. We do every week a training like this on Fridays, covering different aspects in Q&A. That's for sure. Every Friday, we do it for sure. But again, from time to time, we do it on other days as well where needed, and we invite you to come in. Again, the goal is not to sell you anything. The goal here is to make sure you understand that the applications you already bought from us, how do you integrate with them, make the most out of them. Okay. And again, as with everything, Clone Voice comes with 30-day money back guarantee. So use it to your heart's desire. And again, no questions. You get every single penny back if it's not for you. Most people still, we deal with like well, why do I need it? The deal is so great anyways, and the price will increase after regardless. So I'll get it right now. But regardless, it's there for your peace of mind regardless, right? So anyway, thanks for being here. What I'm going to do is, for those of you who I couldn't answer any questions, please, okay, do not hesitate to email us at support@clonevoice.ai. This includes integration with Artistly as well, so that we can tag those tickets separately to help out. So email us at support@clonevoice.ai. We'll be happy to assist you in any questions you have that I couldn't cover here today because there's so many questions. But please do make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also go to our Facebook group if you haven't, which most of you should be. This is the Facebook group, pono.com/FB. So please join there, so that you can post any questions, comments, feature requests and stuff. Every single post you make, whether you can see it or not, we see them. Okay, just want to make sure you understand that. And of course, email our support team if you have any questions and access issues or anything out there. They're available right now to assist you as soon as possible. And I'm so excited to have you all on board. Regardless, whether you got in or not, I hope you found value in these interactive trainings. Okay, a lot of time planning goes into these, and the integration ecosystem that we planned out here, like you see, a lot of planning and a lot of it came from you folks, which we do appreciate, where they were like, okay, I want to take the clone voice and make a video. I want to take a podcast and make a video. I want to create talking or singing lip sync video. All these, we understand, we hear you. Instead of telling you, go buy another tool for $99 a month, or this other tool, it's not our problem, some external company to do it. We just want to build an all-inclusive ecosystem of products that all work with each other. So you never have to go leave that and go buy another expensive tool. It's the worst thing we can do for you, right? Where, oh, you're getting a fun time price with updates. By the way, though, buy this $99 a month recurring subscription, because that's one feature we don't do, or that one main thing we don't do. That's not the goal, right? We want to give everything in one place. So thanks again for your support on getting CloneVoice.ai. Your response has been insane. I cannot appreciate you enough. A lot went to it, like I mentioned before. Every single penny in profit that we made from Video Express, Talking Photos, Artistly, it put into CloneVoice.ai, right? And all the updates we're making, integrations we're making, and your help and your support means a lot. It makes a huge deal of a difference for us. I just want to be clear, because we have an in-house machine learning team. These AI engineers are very expensive. We have in-house software development team. For each one of these applications, a different team working on them. So these are full-time people, right? And then on top of that, you have Ami, Sid, Ali for the training and getting your feedback in and stuff. We have a full-time support team helping in our Facebook group and our customer support team and stuff like that. And, all these folks, right? You're helping us to pay them, incentivize them, and to keep updating it. So it's one of those few times where I can say every penny you invest in these products goes straight into the development process, goes straight into us buying more servers and more equipment and higher end NVIDIA enterprise servers, no matter what they cost. And that's something that we're very proud of, to say that we can do so and compete against the giants of the industry that are raising hundreds of millions of dollars right now, right? And we can do that because of you helping us out. Okay, so thank you so much. It's not forgotten. That's why I spend so much time, the team spends so much time with you to ensure we answer all your questions and help you take your feedback in. And that WhatsApp group I'm creating with the testers, right, to help us out with different languages and stuff. Little details we're doing because we want to give back to you in a big way, because we appreciate you. Okay, so that said, please do watch the replay for this. It'll be instantly on YouTube, so you can go cover anything we missed, especially the first 30 minutes. Okay, the rest of it was Q&A mostly. So first 30 minutes in particular, please watch that later on, so you can go step by step and integrate it. Otherwise, have a great day and night wherever in the world. I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.